Welcome back to Second and Short. It is Friday, September 1st, 2023. The NFL is a week away as we speak. The MLB playoffs are a month away as well. And we just got Champions League groups. They've all been drawn. And God damn it, Luke, I am excited.
Oh yeah, for all those things.
Yeah, it is heating up. The fall is the best time of the year. Undoubtedly, the weather gets better as we go on. The MLB
Leaves,
gets
dude.
better. Yeah, like, oh my God, everything about September, October into November is the best, especially for sports fans. And I just could not be more excited.
And we're bringing it right to you.
Oh, yeah, we've got to go to one today. A ton of topics on the list today. We start with our MLB recap, of course. And then for this next month, every week, me and Luke will be hitting you with the MLB Playoff Picture update, letting you know how everybody is seated and what the matchups will be as it stands. Then the MLB Weekend Preview, NFC North Preview, Premier League Weekend Preview. We're going to be going through every single UCL group that was drawn today. Tons of transfer news as the window winds down. And then a new segment to close it out. A little programming update for the people. It's called Questions Time. Similar to the British Parliament, every week we will come in here. I will bring some questions that I find. So similar to the 5 questions from Reddit for MLB that me and Colin have been doing. But this week we've got 4 questions, and they address different things around all the leagues that we talk about on our episodes. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to that one. It's going to be a fun way to close out the episodes. Luke, are you ready for MLB recap?
Let's fucking do it.
All right. As always, winners and losers. And my first winner is an exciting one. It's September call ups. We see so many players get called up in the last week of August, all throughout September. And it starts off with one that me and Colin literally were talking about on Wednesday's episode. Jasson Dominguez is getting called up by the Yankees.
Super excited. Not excited about, losing Harrison Bader, but I'll get more into that later. But very excited about Jasson Dominguez, though.
Yeah, and me and Colin were saying on Wednesday that at this point, I don't even know if Jasson Dominguez exists because I think I've seen him play baseball one time, and all I ever do is hear about him all summer. All summer, and as soon as the winter meetings start, it's like everybody needs to talk about Jasson Dominguez and how good he is. So the 20-year-old is getting the call up, but catcher Austin Wells getting the call up as well for
more
the Yankees.
more excited about him than I am Jasson Dominguez, I think. Austin
I'm so
Wells
glad
is
to hear that.
a I think he fits the mold of a new MLB catcher. Like you look at the Adley Rutschmans of the league, and like you see fast catchers that are good defensively, but can hit the ball super super well. And I think Austin Wells has potential to do that.
Awesome. Well, other call-ups we've also got Ronnie Mauricio, the shortstop, coming up for the Mets, which I'm super excited for. He is crazy good. He fits that same kind of new shortstop build. Big, lanky, fast player, and I'm excited to watch him. And just last night on Wednesday, we saw Darius Vines come up for the Braves and have a great debut. I think he went 6 innings, only gave up 2 runs, no homers in his debut that happened at Coors Field. So I think he became the first pitcher to make his debut at Coors Field and go 6 innings without giving up a home run.
That's pretty impressive. Coors Field is one of the smaller ones, right?
It's
It's
small.
easier to hit home runs in there.
It's not exactly small. It is a little bit, but a mile above, sea level, the altitude there takes crazy effect, and your pitches don't break as well. So you really got to stick to the heater and just kind of hit your spots. And Darius did a fantastic job of it. Not giving up a homer at Coors Field is something that very many could not do. So happy to see him play well, and then happy to see all the rest of the guys that are going to end up getting pulled up throughout this month.
Sure.
But my first loser is the Rangers bullpen again. They were on here last week, and they're back on here again because they've blown 6 saves in 9 games on this road trip by 5 different pitchers.
Yep.
They're running a closer by committee and still blowing saves left and right.
And our Aroldis Chapman is a fucking idiot.
Yeah, walk-off hit by pitch.
I've never seen that before.
Yeah, like I think I've seen more walk-off balks than hit by pitches.
Yeah, but the guy with zero control, I would expect nothing less.
Fair enough. He couldn't even. Never mind. Nope, not making that joke. I was gonna say he couldn't.
You gotta tell me when we're not recording.
No, I'll just say he couldn't stop from hitting his wife.
Oh no.
But let's get to my next winner.
A lot of control
So
there.
we can. Not much control, I would argue, but let's get to the next winner. It's giving gifts. Julio Rodriguez out here giving gifts to the whole team, coaches and players, suiting them up. Adidas tracksuits and Adidas bucket hats for the whole gang.
Wow.
You got to see
Look
the
at that.
picture. It is
High roller.
fucking amazing. It's like Scott Service in an Adidas jumpsuit is probably the funniest thing ever.
Speaking of leaving gifts, did you see Vargas leaving gum at second base for Arias?
That was awesome.
That was fantastic. I love that.
Yeah, shout out giving gifts. But my next loser is shamelessly eating ice cream. The Braves broadcast caught possibly one of the funniest videos of a man eating ice cream. They caught it on the broadcast last night from Coors Field, and Brandon Gaudin and Peter Moreland had some fun with it. Look, I'm gonna send you this video because it is fucking hilarious.
Do I get to react live?
Yeah, I'm gonna. Oh shit, let me see. Let's see how this happens. Here, I'm putting the video in chat right now. Yeah, you hear Brandon Gaudin say they might need to get a hotel room, talking about how this guy was licking this ice cream to oblivion.
Oh my god.
And then you hear a loud "oh boy" out of Gaudin and a gasp from Moylan as this man proceeds to deep throat this ice cream. Yeah, you gotta watch the video. It is fucking hilarious. And it's like an old dude, Braves champions polo, Braves hat, sunglasses in the middle of the night, like just going to town on some soft serve.
I'm trying to I can't see it in the chat right now.
I sent it in like the podcast studio chat, and you'll just have to click the link to Reddit.
It ain't here, dog.
All right, well, I'll show it to you later. But
yeah, I do want to watch that.
Let's keep it with the Braves here. The next winner is hitting for power and contact. The Braves have reached 250 homers this season while maintaining a league-leading 276 batting average.
Damn, from like 18 different players, too.
Yeah, it's crazy. And only one team in MLB history has finished the season with 250 or more homers and a better batting average, and it was the 1997 Seattle Mariners, who had some familiar faces.
Oh, yeah, like who?
Like Ken Griffey Jr.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Alex Rodriguez, I believe, was on that team.
So, yeah, like that era.
Yeah, Jay Buhner.
Gotcha. I'm pretty sure the Braves, they have 7 players that have hit 20-plus home runs, and, like, second-place team has, like, 4.
Yeah, Marcell Ozuna recently joined the club.
Yeah, Marcell Ozuna, man, he's like an enigma. I don't know what to think about him.
I hate that he's playing so well because it makes me want to keep him. Like, he's going to be a free agent this year, and I don't know. I kind of want him back. He's hitting a lot of bombs.
I've heard he does really good in like the Atlanta area like communities. I've heard he's very, very good with like police officer relations.
Yeah,
he's very good with the police department.
I'm sure it's court mandated community service.
Probably.
But let's get to my next loser. It's all of the players the Angels got at the trade deadline. They placed Lucas Giolito, Matt Moore, man. Reynaldo Lopez, Hunter Renfroe, and Randall Grichuk all on waivers. The only player they got at the deadline that they kept is CJ Cron.
I mean, if you're an Angels fan, like, you're losing Ohtani on top of all that. Like, what the fuck is going on?
So I have a little bit of an explanation, I think, and It's gonna sound crazy, and it really is, but because they think they're gonna lose Ohtani in the offseason, because they're gonna lose him, they'll get a like compensatory draft pick. And with them giving up these players, it brings them to like a certain point, like with their payroll, to where their compensatory draft pick it goes from a fourth to a second if Ohtani leaves. So I get it, but also, who fucking cares about a second round draft pick? Like, I get that guy will probably end up in the league at some point. Is he gonna do everything that Giolito and Hunter Renfroe and Randall Grichuk have done for you? No.
Probably not. And he may
Unless you're
not even
drafting
like come up with
Shohei
your team.
Ohtani. If you draft
Yeah.
Shohei Ohtani in the second round, then you'll be okay.
Yeah, like this guy could, get drafted to the Angels in their organization and just get dealt off and be good somewhere else.
Exactly.
Like, I don't understand.
It's absolutely insane. But my next winner is Davis Schneider. The Blue Jays' second baseman has been nothing short of phenomenal to start his young MLB career. He has an OPS of 1420 through his first 14 career games. That's the best in a player's first 14 career games in American League history. And through his first 40 at-bats this season, he has already surpassed Vlad Guerrero Jr., who had 497 at-bats. He's surpassed him in WAR already.
Damn.
Yeah, Vlad sitting at a 1.1 WAR this season, and Davis Schneider already at a 1.3.
Lord have mercy. I'm looking at him now. He has 47 at-bats in the league. He has 20 hits and 47 at-bats. That's pretty ridiculous. And 6 home runs.
Yeah, he's absolutely killing it. And honestly, this isn't my next loser, but I'm the loser here because I picked Vlad Guerrero Jr. to be the AL MVP this year.
Did I not agree with you there?
I think you might have, but
I think I did too.
Okay, then we're both losers because we were so wrong.
I'll be a loser with you, Grayson.
Thanks, man. I don't want to be a loser with these guys, though. My next loser is free baseball in San Diego. Free baseball, obviously referring to extra innings. The Padres are now 0-11 in extra innings, which is a loss away from tying the 1969 Expos at 0-12 for the most extra inning losses in a season without a win.
Damn, how do you not win one of those games?
I couldn't tell you.
Wow.
I would probably assume bad pitching.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But, we don't have to harp on them too much. They have lost enough this year. My next winner is Buster Posey. Probably didn't think you'd be hearing his name after he retired, but he is re-enrolled at Florida State to go back and earn his college degree.
Wow, Florida State guy too.
Yes, sir.
Didn't even know that.
Yeah, definitely the best player to come out of Florida State. It was like him and J.D. Drew. But
Gotcha.
36-year-old is on a year track to earn his interdisciplinary social science degree.
Good for him.
Yeah,
Shit.
He's enrolled in 2 classes. It's new media and social change and sports and society.
Very cool.
Yeah.
That's very cool to hear about.
And he said like his big reasoning for it was he wants to be, a good role model for his kids, and finishing his degree was something that he felt he needed to do to show his kids how important it is to go to school. So, yeah.
I would expect nothing less. Wow, what a guy.
Yeah.
And I'm actually just looking at it now. I didn't realize how good he was because he's retired now, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I thought so. His last season in the league was pretty fucking good.
It was amazing.
He was good right up until the end. Like I'm looking here, 304 batting average, 18 home runs, 56 RBI, and an OPS just under 900 in 2021. That's fucking ridiculous.
Yeah, he was crazy good in that season. But yeah, shout out Buster Posey, one of my favorite players of all time, and definitely my favorite Florida State player.
Yeah, I love it.
But my next loser is Yankees legend Josh Donaldson.
There, I was mid-bite. I almost made a joke there. Oh, no.
Yeah, okay. He was released the other day, to no one's surprise. But the best part is that somebody pulled a quote from Brian Cashman from March 14th, 2022, when he said, "We appreciate what Gio, being Gio Urshela, has done, but he's not Josh Donaldson."
I love Gio Urshela.
Yeah.
Just makes it even worse.
Yeah. Josh Donaldson, just wow. Like what a time he had in New York.
But what about that season with Atlanta?
Pretty good. The bringer of rain.
Such an outlier season for him. I don't
Yeah.
understand
It's
that
just
season
like
at all.
it's
But
that and the 3 years where he won that MVP.
yep.
Those years were crazy. But otherwise, still just so bad these last couple of years.
Yes.
My next winner is an almost winner. Not quite a full winner, but an almost winner is Alex Cobb, who took a no-hitter through 8.2 innings. He let a runner reach on a walk through 8.1. The runner moved to second on a fielder interference on a flyout, which just sucks. And then 2 outs, Spencer Steer comes up with the no-hitter intact and ropes a double to center. Nick Senzel ends up scoring, and he has to say goodbye to his no-hitter and his complete game shutout. But he does end up striking out Ellie De La Cruz to finish his one run, 1 hit, 131 pitch complete game.
Wow. Damn.
So almost a winner. Like he still kind of won, but he could have had the no-hitter and the shutout.
Good for him.
Yeah.
Cool.
But with an almost winner, I had to make up for it with a total loser to finish this out. And this total loser is Javi Baez, who is now the worst qualified hitter in the MLB with a 57 WRC plus and a okay, silver lining here, lowest strikeout percentage of his career at 23.2%.
Damn.
And also a lowest barrel percentage of his career at 3.8%.
Man, what happened to Javi Baez?
He went to the Mets.
Yeah, it just has all been downhill since Chicago, it seems like, for him.
Yeah, it really has. It was going downhill in Chicago as well, but
Yeah.
as soon as he got to the Mets is when the free fall happened.
Oh, man. Well, I have a little bit of news myself, Grayson.
Yeah, I got a couple more things once you're done, so
okay.
you can just roll through.
Harrison Bader. R.I.P. The Yankees did it again, Grayson. They pissed me off, and so did Harrison Bader because he's just such a personality, a very underrated MLB personality. I feel like, and when Harrison Bader was placed on waivers, he was asked in the locker room, like what his first reaction was, and he said, "What does waivers mean?"
He's got to know what that means, right?
Well, he didn't know at the time, but he knows now because he's going to go to the Reds, which I actually unselfishly really like that move. I'm very excited that he's going to be a Red. The shooting at Guaranteed Rate Field, White Sox Stadium, obviously. I mean, what better place than the South Side of Chicago to have this happen? But
did you hear how it happened? Okay, you're about to say it. Perfect.
Yeah. So she snuck in this gun past metal detectors by hiding it in her belly fat, and it went off in her pocket and grazed a woman. That is absolutely terrifying. Could you imagine sitting near them watching a baseball game and a gunshot goes off beside you? That's insane.
Crazy.
And I just hate that. Baseball is such a pure sport, like dad and kid, going to watch a baseball game, and oh my God, the take me out to the ball. It's just such a pure sport. And then to have something like this happen is just, it's very scary, super terrifying.
Yeah, it is. And also kind of a testament to why they're pushing to move them out of Chicago.
Yeah, which is it's a bummer for I have White Sox fans in my family because my dad's family is actually from the South Side of Chicago, and they're absolutely diehard, and it's just a real bummer that they're even considering it, because of safety. It's just crazy.
Yeah, it really is, and luckily nobody got seriously hurt. I know, I think it's the woman that took in the gun got grazed by the bullet.
Yep.
But yeah, how crazy is that?
Absolutely crazy. But what's even crazier, Jose Altuve hit the first Astro cycle since 2013 this season, which I just like. It's hard to believe. Like it took 10 years, and the Astros have had super good players the entire time.
Yeah, me and Colin talked about it on Wednesday, but how crazy is it that that was his first career cycle? He seems like a guy
Oh,
that would get the cycle.
I didn't even know about that. Yeah, he's such like a just like a really good hitter, and he can hit hard too.
Yeah,
That's insane.
yeah, it's
Um,
pretty surprising.
let's see. Oh, Luis Severino, baby. 7 innings, 0 runs, and 8 strikeouts versus that dog shit offense in Detroit, which the Yankees are actually in extra innings with right now. But finally, something good out of Severino. And like you could tell, the dugout had been waiting on it because, like, this kid has shown talent. It's just whether he can unlock it back or not after all these injuries. And it was just so good to see finally a vintage Severino like the Severino that I saw in 2015 whenever he was a rookie pitching. It was just it was magical for me because I have a soft spot for him as much as I dog on him. So it was perfect to see him pitch well.
Yeah,
Um, you can add this to one of the losers. The Mets giving Scherzer a tribute. What a
yeah,
bum
that
organization.
was a loser on Wednesday.
Yeah, it's just such just so stupid. And then you'll have to correct me on this, but this was absolutely crazy. A umpire in the Northeast region, I
Yep.
think is what the league is called, got ejected after like getting physical with the player who like didn't even touch him. The player was just
Yeah,
giving it to him. I've never seen that before, and a lot of MLB fans were calling for that in the MLB to start happening, which is just kind of like I don't know, kind of ridiculous. But I'd love to see it happen to Angel Hernandez.
yeah, that'd be great. So the way that that rule works is that the crew chief, it really could be anybody out of the group. It doesn't have to be like the guy behind the plate or anything. Um, Whoever the crew chief is that night, or for that series, if he says that one of the umpires in his crew is not, I'm trying to, I can't remember the phrasing, but not able to continue, whether that be injury or just emotion, whatever. If that umpire is not able to continue, that umpire will be replaced. They have umpires on standby at every single baseball game that's played at a minor league or like major league level.
Really?
Yeah, and so that guy was subbed out essentially.
Where are they? Where
I
do
have
they
a
stay?
feeling like a lot of places have like an umpire like locker room essentially.
Okay.
So I'm sure it's somewhere where they're just kind of waiting on standby. Um, but yeah, that's interesting because you're right. The player didn't like the player was obviously mouthing off, but he never made contact with the umpire, and then the umpire puts his hands on him, and it's like, what the fuck?
Yeah. Yeah, it
I,
kind of makes you wonder what the player said or,
yeah,
what he didn't say.
because it's
Honestly.
very much understood that the player and the umpire should not put hands on each other, and every time that it has happened, whoever puts their hands on the other one gets ejected. That's just how it goes. Manny Machado got it, I think last year, maybe the year before, and he got suspended a couple of games. You can't put your hands on the umpire, and the umpire cannot put his hands on a player.
Yeah, and what was interesting is I actually read a comment, and I guess it was someone that actually follows that league, and he said that that particular umpire is actually one of the better ones of that league, and he's like kind of respected. So it makes you wonder like what the player may have said.
Yeah,
But
that that definitely could change things.
hey,
Um,
my last news though,
all
got
right.
one last story. Ellie De La Cruz had a cutoff throw that was like, do you want to pitch for the Yankees?
Yeah,
Because he fucking it was against the D-backs and actually against Corbin Carroll, one of the faster base runners in the league. He had a cutoff throw of 99.7 miles per hour to beat Corbin Carroll to the plate, and it was just absolutely immaculate. Like just a laser beam, dude.
yeah, it was absolutely fucking insane. And like the fact that he threw it from the outfield grass, 99 miles an hour, straight to home plate on a fucking line,
Yeah,
crazy.
and I don't know if other MLB fans like think of this way, but like Ellie De La Cruz, watching him play makes me wish that O'Neal Cruz was healthy this year.
Yeah, me too.
Big time. And then another Ellie funny thing. I think this may have happened last week, or maybe it was earlier this week. I'm not really too sure. But did you see Shohei get on base and Ellie was
Yes.
beside him poking him? That was like two of like everybody's favorite baseball players in the league right now interacting, and it was
Yeah.
just so cool as a fan to watch it.
I believe that happened last week in the doubleheader that they played, which I think we talked about on the episode. But yeah, that was very funny because Shohei obviously had a UCL injury and then just played the second game, and
Yeah,
Ellie's like, "How are you a human being?"
and
Which
and
I'm
the
convinced he's not.
and I can just imagine that conversation of like Japanese and Spanish, and not a single word was understood, but
Yeah,
they
no,
had a
it's
lot of
all just
respect for
like
each other.
it's like universal sign language.
Exactly. But it was just a very cool moment that I
Yeah, that
wanted
was
to
great.
highlight.
Yeah, so a couple of the things I've got. Ken Griffey Jr. was taking pictures as a credentialed media member on the sidelines at the
Yes.
Inter Miami game, dipping into his Randy Johnson bag there.
Yeah.
George Kirby of the Mariners has the highest strikeout to walk ratio at a 7.64 and fewest walks at 36 through a pitcher's first 50 career starts in Major League history.
Wow.
Cole Reagans of the Royals had an insane month. He struck out 53 players this month, and he had never had more than 16 strikeouts in a month prior to that. Only one other MLB pitcher in the modern era has had a 50 strikeout month after never previously having even a 20 strikeout month, and that was Hall of Famer Pete Alexander in 1911.
Wow.
And yeah, Cole Reagan's line in August was crazy. 36 and 2/3 innings, 9 runs given up, 7 earned runs, 9 walks, 53 strikeouts, and a 1.73 ERA.
Shit.
Yeah. So shout out Cole Reagans. He was fucking
Ouch.
crazy. Corbin Carroll hit just the second home run from a lefty against Clayton Kershaw this season. And it was also Corbin Carroll's second home run off of Clayton Kershaw this season, meaning he is the only lefty that has homered off of Kershaw all year, and he's done it twice.
Those are two very, very good players right
Yeah.
now.
21-year-old Nolan Shanuel, I believe is how you say it, for the Angels. He has made the fastest MLB debut for a position player since 1978. He made his debut just 40 days after the MLB draft.
Wow.
Yeah, absolutely crazy. And he has a 9-game hitting streak to start his career. He's hitting 344, 448 or 488 on base, and 863 slugging with about a 150 OPS plus and 7 walks and only 4 strikeouts.
Wow.
Yeah, he is
That's pretty
absolutely killing
incredible.
it. Yeah, shout out Nolan. Um, and in case anybody was wondering what happened to all the bees at Camden Yards that stopped the game a couple weeks ago, a Maryland Stadium Authority employee who happens to be a local beekeeper relocated approximately 2,000 bees from the bullpen area at Camden Yards and took
Very
them
cool.
to a small sanctuary.
Awesome.
Yeah, so hopefully we get some Camden Yards honey shortly.
That'd be sick.
Yeah. And then I had the information about the guaranteed rate field thing. Okay, yeah, my final thing. Shout out these guys, but also no free shout outs. They're not paying me, but I'm gonna give them a shout out. Homer Hindsight is possibly one of the best things that has come to the MLB community in a while. So we got Immaculate Grid just a handful of months ago, and that's awesome. I still play it just about every day. But Homer Hindsight is so much fun. You go to their website. It's homerhindsight.com if you guys want to play it. And it plays a quick clip of a guy hitting a ball. And you have to guess if it was a home run or not.
Oh, wow. That's
Yeah,
fun.
and it cuts off pretty quick. So you don't get to see, like, much. And my best streak that I've gotten was 15. Which was astounding. Honestly, I kept getting like 3, 4, 5 in a row. I hit off like a 7 and then a 15 streak. But yeah, I just wanted to shout that out because I found it today on Reddit and It is super, super fun. You don't even really have to be like a huge fan of baseball to have fun playing this one. It's just watching home runs and watching flyouts. So, go check that out. It's super fun.
Sick.
But let's go ahead and get into the MLB playoff picture. You know, the it's right around the corner, man. It's absolutely crazy. So we'll start with the AL wild card matchups. Right now, our 4 seed is the Rays. They'd be taking on the 5 seed Astros. And then our 3 seed would be the Twins because they're dog shit, but they're winning their division. And then the number 6 would be the Rangers.
Okay.
The
Oh,
teams, though, that are in contention for those wild card spots, you still have Toronto just barely outside at 2.5 games out. They're really the main team in contention with the Rangers, who have been so bad. And then the Red Sox 6.5 is a pretty hard one to jump with only a month left to go.
yeah. Just kind of looking at the wild card now, the way that it's setting up, it's cool teams, but I think it's going to be kind of boring. I could easily see the Rangers still beating the Twins despite,
Yeah.
not being hot right now. And I could also see the Rays totally losing to the Astros.
Yeah, well, the
Easily.
best thing about Rangers Twins is that they match up this weekend, so we'll get a pretty good tell of how they're going to match up against each other. But the ALDS right now, how it's set, number 1 seed would be the Orioles. They would play the winner of Tampa or Houston, and then the number 2 Mariners would match up with Minnesota or Texas. How crazy is it that the Orioles and Mariners, the 1 and 2 seed right now?
It's, as much as I don't like the Orioles, it is kind of cool to see them here. But the Mariners, especially, man, I don't know what it is, but I can't hate the Mariners. I just think they're a cool team,
Yeah,
and I can't believe that they're the 2nd seed. That's unbelievable. Good
dude,
job.
they have absolutely surged. They won 21 games so far in August.
Damn.
I think their month is over. I don't think they play today, so they won 21 games in August, which is phenomenal.
That's how you get a good seed in the postseason. Do well in August.
Yeah, definitely. Like they're yeah, 8 of their last 10. And they just came off a 9-game win streak.
Wow.
But let's go over to the NL. The wild card right now in the NL, you have the number 4 seed Phillies versus the number 5 seed Cubs, and the number 3 seed Brewers, and the number 6 seed Giants.
Yeah, I like all these teams here.
Yeah, but there's a lot of there's 3 contenders really for that 6th spot from the Giants. The Giants are 2 games behind the Cubs right now, but only a half game ahead of the Diamondbacks, 1 game ahead of the Reds, and 3 games ahead of the Marlins.
I wouldn't mind seeing any of those teams also get in.
Yeah, they're all teams I'd like to watch. Honestly, the Marlins probably the least, just because I'm not a big fan of watching them. Like I like some of their pitching staff, of course, but Luis Arias hasn't been quite as good as he should be, or he started the season off as. Soler isn't hitting as many home runs. Like the hitting side of that team is not all that fun to watch right now.
Yeah,
But nonetheless, I'd love to see the Reds and Diamondbacks in the playoffs.
me too.
But your NLDS, of course, number 1, the Braves. They would face the winner of Phillies Cubs, and the 2, the Dodgers, would face the winner of Brewers Giants.
Ooh, Dodgers Giants in the playoffs could be pretty fun though.
It would, yeah. How about it'll probably just Dodgers Giants, Braves Phillies.
Yeah.
That would be hilarious. But I really like the Brewers. They are very good.
Yes, they are.
They've also won 8 of their last 2, or sorry, 8 of their last 10. They're 8-2 in their last 10. And they're on a 2-game win streak, which means they won 8 straight. But yeah, I'm super happy with how the playoffs are looking right now.
Me too. This is kind of a random question, but are we going to see City Connect jerseys in the playoffs?
I don't know. It's kind of up to the teams, but the MLB might say no.
Gotcha. I
Like
hope we do.
I would love to, but I think they typically stick to home road jerseys and that's it.
Yeah.
Because a lot of the times, like I know with the Braves, we've been doing because we've always done the Friday Reds at home. So you wear the red jerseys on Fridays at home, and then we've recently been doing Saturdays at home. You wear the City Connect. Um, but obviously the playoffs, you just kind of play whenever they end up. So not too sure about that, but it would be interesting to see them.
I
Because
like
I
it.
think all of the teams except Philly that are in the playoff picture right now have a City Connect. Maybe no, Minnesota doesn't,
Minnesota
and
does. They
neither.
have that Twin
Oh,
Cities one.
oh shit, they do, but the Rays don't.
Yes.
The
No,
Rays
I
don't
thought the
have one.
Rays did too with that alternate jersey with or is that just like a
I think it's just a
throwback
throwback.
alternate?
Yeah, I think
Okay.
it's just a throwback. But I think
Gotcha.
everybody else does. Because the Orioles have those ugly jerseys. Houston has Space City. Seattle has theirs. Texas has theirs. Philly doesn't have one. Chicago has the Wrigleyville. The Braves have the A. The Dodgers have the Los Dodgers ones. The Brewers have the Brew Crew ones. And then the Giants have the Clouds ones.
Yes. And by the way, with all this City Connect talk, I just added a question to question time on my prep sheet. So I'm
Works
going to
for
read
me.
it off. Perfect.
Okay. All right, let's get into this weekend. We've got a fantastic weekend in the MLB, and it's headlined by Braves Dodgers. Really the top two teams in baseball right now, because technically they both have better winning percentages than the Orioles. I'm not trying to defame the Orioles, it's just facts. The two best teams in baseball face off a 4-game series. It starts Thursday night, tonight as we're talking, yesterday as you're hearing it, 10 p.m. tonight. And it goes all the way through Sunday. So 4 games of amazing baseball and great
Yeah,
matchups.
I love it. And I'm going to run through a couple here that I'm looking at. We got Baltimore versus Arizona, which is going to be good. Philadelphia and Milwaukee, Yankees, Astros, Twins, Rangers, like you said, that's going to be pretty good. We got Scherzer on the mound tomorrow, and Carlos Rodon versus Verlander tomorrow. So
Nice.
that's going to be entertaining as well.
Don't forget Cubs Reds. Big
Oh,
one
and
for the
Cubs Reds.
playoffs.
Yep, little divisional game, right?
Yeah. Only
Yeah.
what? 3 games separation between the two. So that could be a big swing. Could be big for the Giants and Diamondbacks as well.
Yeah, I almost said Rays and Guardians, but I forget that the Guardians aren't good somehow.
Yeah.
And I say
That's
somehow because
obnoxious.
I don't get it with them. I feel like they have a lot of cool players, really good players too.
Yeah, they do. It's just not all coming together.
No,
The pitching is off when the bats are on, and the bats are off when the pitching's on. Like, it just, I don't know. It's not working simultaneously.
yeah.
But anything else you want to talk about heading into this weekend?
No, I think we can move on to my favorite segment.
Yes, Luke's favorite, the NFC preview. Well, the NFL season preview by division, and today the NFC North, a strong one, very
Yeah,
strong one. Um,
very.
so obviously, we will update every week. We've updated. So next week will be the NFC Beast and the NFL season preview.
I'm
Not
so happy we're ending with the Beast. By the
yeah,
way, like what a finale to this
yeah, it
series. Seriously.
is. It's going to be a great division this year. So obviously, we'll get into that next week. But for now, let's hear the standings in the NFC North.
So first I wanted to bring up someone else's standings that I saw, Grayson.
Okay,
And I pretty much just want you and I to absolutely shit on this person.
sounds good.
You ever heard of Adam Rank?
No.
So if you play fantasy football on the NFL app, Adam Rank is this guy who does like some of the stories within the app. It's just like Snapchat, but he'll give fantasy advice. He's the biggest dumbass ever. I absolutely hate Adam Rank, and he just made me hate him even more, Grayson. He even added records to this list. So let me just read this off to you, okay? You want me to start from the bottom or the top?
Yeah, go ahead and start from the bottom.
The Vikings are going to finish 8-9.
Are you fucking kidding me?
The Packers are going to finish 8-9. The Lions are going to be 9-8, and the Bears are going to be 12-5.
Dude, okay. Oh, okay, let's go through our standings. I have to talk about the Bears.
Oh yeah, no, the Bears are going to be interesting. But my standings, I went Vikes, Lions, Bears, Packers, which I think is what like most people would do. But I could easily see the Lions or the Bears having a super super good season.
Okay, I see it as Vikings, Lions, Packers, Bears. And let me talk about the
Ooh,
Bears real quick. For some reason, okay, look, they made great pickups this offseason. They had a good draft as well. They won one fucking game last year.
they really only win one
Or
game.
no, did they win two?
I'm gonna look it up. Go
Either
ahead.
way, they were not good. The coaching
Uh,
didn't change this offseason.
3 games.
They won three? Oh man, that's so many. Okay. Three fucking games last year. Whatever it is. They were fucking bad. They had the first overall pick, in case people forgot. They were really bad last year. They made zero structural changes. And you're just supposed to tell me that Justin Fields all of a sudden has the answer. Because, yes, he was great last year on the ground. Fantastic. He showed good things. But what the fuck has changed other than giving him a wide receiver and an offensive lineman?
Yeah. No, I mean you hit the nail on the head. Like I completely agree with you. Everybody for some reason thinks Justin Fields is just going to go out there and throw like 250 yards every game.
Yeah, like,
It's
okay,
what people are
if you look at the roster change from last year to this year, how the fuck do you add 8 wins into that record?
talking. Or 12 if you're Adam Rank.
Yeah, like, I could certainly see a good season out of them, and they go 8-9, 9-8 at best. But do you really fucking think they're winning 12 goddamn games? Like, that's fucking
Exactly.
that you have to like genuinely think with your fucking brain and remember that like Matt Eberflus, yes, he's a good coach. Was he a good coach last year? Sure. Did he lead this team to victory? No. And Justin Fields didn't lead this team to victory. Yeah, he kept them in some games, mainly with his legs. Adding a wide receiver doesn't change the fact that Justin Fields is not going to throw the ball a lot. So that's going to eliminate Darnell Mooney and DJ Moore from being huge factors in this offense.
Yep, Cole Kmet too.
Yeah,
Another talented guy they have.
like I don't see where this huge shift has gone for the Bears. I think they're going to be significantly better than the 3-win team we saw last year. But that doesn't make them a playoff team.
No, I think like what you said, 9-8 would be a very good season for Chicago from how it went last year and with what they still have.
Yeah.
Yep. But that's a TikTok clip, by the way. I was laughing the whole way through that. That was perfect. Somebody clipped that.
I just think I think that's crazy.
But I
I think it's
completely agree
crazy.
with you, though. I completely agree. They lost David Montgomery too, and I don't think they ever replaced at running back.
Well, they got
to my
Donta
knowledge.
Foreman. Not a bad pickup.
But
Not
not David
great.
Montgomery. Good. David Montgomery would be good with a good offensive line.
Yeah.
I'm high on David Montgomery.
Yeah, well, he's got a good offensive line in Detroit.
In Detroit, he does. So I don't think you ever ran through your standings.
Yeah, I did right before I went off. But
Okay,
Vikings,
gotcha.
Lions, Packers, Bears, in case you
That's right.
forgot in my blackout where I just screamed at the Bears.
No, you know what? They deserved it though, because it's a lot of hype for nothing. Don't get me wrong. Like their pickups are really exciting, and I think a lot of people are riding high on Justin Fields year 3. But we need to kind of humble ourselves for a second. Like I definitely think the Bears, despite probably not making the playoffs this year, they're going to be a highlight team. Like you're going to hear about them. They're going to be exciting, but they're not going to be, they're not going to make the playoffs guaranteed.
No, definitely not. I'd say they're lucky if they make the playoffs.
Yeah, I agree.
But when it comes to like saying the Vikings are going to come in last in this division is genuinely fucking ridiculous.
It is. It's egregious.
Like they have top tier players, not just in this division, but in the league. They have the best wide receiver in Justin Jefferson. They have one of the best rookie wide receivers in Jordan Addison. They have
Oh, never mind. Go ahead.
sorry, they have a very consistent quarterback who is a majority of the time well above average in Kirk Cousins. You have good players on your defense still. Harrison Smith is still a very good player. Daniil Hunter is still a very good player. I don't see where this disconnect is.
Yeah, Jordan Hicks too.
Yeah.
He's going to be great. I mean, he's always up there, like top 5 tackle leader, like his entire career, it seems like.
Yeah, I don't see where people have fallen off the wagon for the Vikings and have suddenly just hopped on the Bears.
Yeah, it's very stupid.
But Lions, I think the Lions and Packers are interchangeable. I think if Jordan Love plays very good, the Packers will be better than the Lions. If Jordan Love doesn't play all that good and maybe the Lions just kind of figure some things out, because honestly, the defense wasn't that good last year, but they made good pickups, especially in the draft and picking up C.J. Gardner-Johnson. But Jack Campbell is going to have an immediate impact at linebacker. Aiden Hutchinson has improved. He's going to continue to improve, and that's huge. Like I said, C.J. Gardner-Johnson, great. Cameron Sutton is a great option there at corner, and so is Jerry Jacobs on the other side. I like what they've done to this defense. It's gotten much better. They also drafted Brian Branch, they got crazy good value out of him, because I see him as like a future all-pro safety.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
And getting him late in the second is huge. So the pickups they made were great. And on the offensive side, yes, Jamison Williams suspended for some of the year, but Marvin Jones Jr. is great. Amon-Ra St. Brown is a budding superstar. Sam Laporta is a fantastic rookie tight end. You have a fantastic offensive line. Frank Ragnow at center, a yearly all-pro center. Penei Sewell, great. I don't know how to say his first name, but Vaitai at right guard, great. Like, this offensive line is good. They have Jahmyr Gibbs now, who it looks like he's going to be an X-Factor type running back. That's how it appears. That's how people see it. I'm gonna ride with it for now. We'll have to see how Jahmyr Gibbs does, but for now, I like his upside. And Jared Goff is just a consistently decent quarterback that's good enough to run this offense.
Yeah, and if Jahmyr Gibbs is, going off on a slow start, you have a David Montgomery who finally has a good offensive line.
Yeah.
It's like, and I agree with literally everything you just said. Like, you hit all the same exact points that I would have said, but I do disagree with you on one thing. I think that the gap between the Lions and the Packers is a lot further than what you said. I think the Packers are easily going to finish dead last in this division. I even think the Bears can be better than the Packers. But yes, the Packers still have weapons. The only significant weapon that I think they have is that Aaron Jones, A.J. Dillon partnership. Because, listen, a couple of years ago, the Packers were, they were said to have like kind of a top 5 defense on paper. They still have majority of the same guys, but that defense never really came to like what it was supposed to be, in my opinion. Yes, they do have Jair Alexander over there. He's, easily a top 3 corner in the league, in my opinion, but I definitely think the Packers are going to struggle.
I don't know. I don't see that. I think that this defense is certainly good enough. Like you said, Jair Alexander's great. Devondre Campbell is fantastic. So is Preston Smith, who's going to be healthy this year. Devontae Wyatt, a great defensive end. You also have Lucas Van Ness to play like that outside linebacker / defensive end position as a rookie. Kenny Clark is fantastic. I love the growth that we've seen from Rasul Douglas over the last year. Like, I think their defense has improved. It's just not as good as people wrote it up to be last year.
Yeah, I can kind of see that.
And then on the offensive side, yeah, this is a young-ass offense, 100%. But I still like what they have. I like Jordan Love. I think he's talented, and we'll see if it's really that good. But I like what he has. Obviously, you pointed out Jones and Dillon. They're undeniable. Christian Watson is the question mark to me, because I know that Romeo Doubs is aware of his position in this offense. He's the number 2 wide receiver, and he just has to be open. That's all he has to do. Be open and be ready for the ball to come to you. Christian Watson, I don't know if he is ready to be a wide receiver 1, in the sense of you have to be able to make plays at every single spot on the field, whether that be within 10 yards. Creating separation inside of 10 yards is one of the biggest things that just about every single wide receiver 1 can do in the NFL. I don't know how good he's going to be at that. We know he can play the deep ball so well. He's got crazy speed, breakaway speed. It's that close to the quarterback plays and creating separation there that I have a question about, and that's going to be the game changer.
Yeah, I'm kind of in the same boat as you. Christian Watson obviously showed undeniable talent last season. I mean, the amount of touchdowns was just, the most obvious standout stat for me. But like, I just that is going to be so hard to top. And like, I don't know, he just seems like a guy that I could easily see being very, very underwhelming in his sophomore year. I don't necessarily think he's a bust. But I don't think he'll have nearly as good of a season.
Okay. Well,
and Romeo Dubs, I think I don't think he's going to be a wide receiver at all. I could easily see him being off the team in like 2 to 3 years.
I don't know. I like what he has to offer, and I love the rookie, Jaden Reed.
I like him. Yeah.
But let's talk dark horses. I think the Packers are a dark horse if Love really stands out, and I think the Lions are as well.
Bro, the Packers, great. No.
Yeah.
Jordan Love will not make the playoffs.
Why not?
Because he's not good enough.
How do you know that, though? We've seen him like 3 times ever.
Yeah, but like in the times we've seen him, he was already a backup long enough with Aaron Rodgers to like, I don't know, in my opinion, function better. Like he had that one game against the Chiefs where it was brutal.
But wouldn't you think that about any other guy that steps into a starting role?
Jimmy Garoppolo. That was a guy that came out and showed out.
And he got a huge bag.
Yeah, but he was good. Jordan Love isn't good, I don't think.
I don't know how you can just definitively say he's not good.
Well, maybe I can't. Maybe I can't. It'll be his first full season. I'm just not expecting much from the guy.
Okay, I'm looking at the upside of him, and I think he has tremendous upside. I don't think he has that low of a floor, is the way I see him.
Well, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about him.
All right. Well, who are your dark horses?
I don't have one because I think the Vikings are that good.
Okay. Yeah,
I
kind of agree with you. I just needed one.
Yeah, my only other one would have been the Lions. And I feel like that's kind of an obvious one. Jared Goff is like, and I feel like you and I kind of had the same epiphany of him last season, with doing the podcast and keeping up like way more with these players. Jared Goff can fucking play football.
Yeah.
He may not be the flashy guy that will make your Instagram feeds, but that dude will definitely be the most accurate in the league. And he seems to make, the right plays and the right decisions. So Jared Goff is seriously, I feel like if he is on your team, and especially if you have built such a good system around him where it's not a very complicated offense at all, it works, man. And I think that alone gives them a playoff chance.
Yeah, I think people need to, don't forget that Jared Goff was a starting quarterback for an entire season where his team went to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I mean, I don't give a shit if his team only put up 3 points in that Super Bowl. Not a lot of quarterbacks can say they've ever even been to the Super Bowl.
Exactly. So
there you go.
Yeah, I like the Lions as well. I think I was probably exaggerating saying that they're close with the Packers. I don't think they will be. I see the Lions as a 10-win team. I see the Packers as like an 8 or 9. And there will be a pretty obvious gap, though that amount of games doesn't seem like it.
Yeah, I agree.
But let's get to MVP nominees of the division. Justin Jefferson is the first one, easily.
First one on my list, except I wrote Jettas.
Yeah.
That was the only difference.
He has to be number one. And I didn't really put the rest of them in any particular order, so I threw Kirk.
I actually didn't have Kirk on my list, but I like that. I thought about him.
Yeah. Amon-Ra St. Brown.
He made mine.
Justin Fields could be.
I did not make mine.
Just because of the guys, everybody's sucking his dick.
You're falling into the hype, Grayson.
I'm not. I believe that Justin Fields is very good at running. And if he can be half as good at throwing the ball, they'll be just fine.
Dude, I swear, last season it seemed like there was a 4-game stretch where he had the most ridiculous rushing highlight of the season.
Yeah, it was like every week he was just breaking off a 70-yard rush.
Yeah, incredible rusher.
Um, Aaron Jones, just because he's going to get a lot of looks.
Yep, mine too.
Threw DJ Moore there just in case.
Did not throw DJ Moore.
Just in case I'm right. And then Jair Alexander is the only defensive player I put.
Same. The only other guys that I actually know, I had Tremaine Edmonds in
Okay.
Chicago as one of my MVPs, and I put Hawkinson on mine.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't hate that at all. I think he just got a big extension.
Good. I love him in that offense. It's kind of unfair when they're
Yeah,
rolling.
it is crazy. But defensive player of the year in this division, I've got Jair Alexander, of course.
Yep, me too.
And then Tremaine Edmonds as well.
Yep, me
Aiden
too.
Hutchinson,
Me too.
CJ Gardner Johnson.
That the same exact 4 players. That's actually
Okay.
kind of crazy.
I might lose you here.
Uh-oh.
I might. Jaquan Brisker.
Yeah, I only actually had those 4 players.
Oh,
you
okay.
mentioned. Yeah.
All right. Well, then 2 more. Daniil Hunter, because I still think he's a very good player, and then Kenny
Yeah.
Clark.
I love the fact that we both took CJ Gardner Johnson. When I wrote
He's
his
gonna
name
be
down,
so
I was
good.
yeah, he's a pick machine. And when I wrote his name down, I was like, oh, I bet Grayson like probably wouldn't have this guy. Like a lot of people wouldn't say that. That's actually kind of crazy that we both picked him, I think.
He's going to be a huge part of that Lions
He
defense.
is. Yeah, what a pickup in the offseason.
Yeah, huge. Rookie of the year, though, there's a lot of good, important rookies in this division.
Yeah, there are. And let me take the lead on this one.
Yeah,
I want to show off here. So Jahmyr Gibbs,
Yep.
obviously.
Number 1.
Sam Laporta.
Yep.
Brian Branch.
Didn't have Brian Branch.
Do you think Brian Branch is though?
Yes, I have him in my surprise players because
Okay,
I don't
gotcha.
think he's going to start every game, so it's going to be hard for him to be like the best rookie in this division.
Now, I went with a hot take here, but let me explain.
Okay.
So the Packers drafted Luke Musgrave, tight end out of Oregon State, and Tucker Kraft, tight end out of South Dakota State. Both of these guys are you won't even know who Tanyan is by like week 5.
Yes.
I'm seriously that high on these 2 guys, so I put them both on my list.
Okay. Yeah, I've got Luke Musgrave. He's just a physical monster.
Yeah, the NFC North like projected starters that I researched like while making my notes actually had Tucker Kraft being the starting tight end.
Interesting. I probably just because he's much more of a blocking tight end than Luke Musgrave.
Yeah,
that's probably the reason.
And my last guy was Jordan Addison.
Yep, of course I got him there. My only other guys, Lucas Van Ness, and Jaden Reed.
I gotcha. What are the odds that Jordan Addison and Justin Jefferson receive over 1,000 yards this year?
I could see it happening, but I think Addison would fall just a little bit short, just because of the amount of targets Jefferson's going to get.
Yeah, I mean, they would have to throw the ball a fuck ton if they were going to keep not only Justin Jefferson in his normal role, but include, Jordan Addison in a big part of it as well. And they have Hawkinson.
Yeah, because if you look at the Dolphins last year, Waddle and Hill were both 1,000-yard receivers, I believe.
Yeah, they didn't have a tight end.
Well, yeah, Gesicki wasn't very important last year in that offense, but I think the big thing there was that Justin Jefferson had like 400 more yards than Tyreek Hill.
Yeah, sounds about right.
So it's like, yeah, maybe Addison will be close, but if Jefferson puts up numbers like that again, there's no way they're going to have another 1,000-yard receiver.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Surprise players. I took 2 defense for some reason.
Oh, okay. I have a little pair here.
Okay.
KJ Osborne and Jordan Addison. And I really wish more people were high on these 2 guys, and I don't really know why there isn't a lot of hype. But we've seen, the pass game with this Vikings offense last season. It's incredible when it's rolling. KJ Osborne can only get better. He is a very, very underrated wide receiver. I'm very, very high on KJ Osborne. And then Jordan Addison, we've seen what he can do in college. And for a lot of guys, especially wide receivers in college that, go play in the NFL, they seem to have a pretty easy transition, much easier than a quarterback, which is obvious, but still. I think Jordan Addison can be very, very effective in this Vikings offense, a lot more than what people think.
Yeah, I definitely agree. Um, Surprise guys to me though, like one that pops off for me or pops out at me, is Roshan Johnson, who I think right now is the third string running back on Chicago. He's a rookie out of Texas. He was Bijan's backup in college, and he's very, very good. Possibly one of the better rookie running backs in this class, though he got very overlooked because he didn't get the snaps in college. He probably wanted to because him and Bijan were there at the same time the whole time.
Wow.
So, yes, he's behind Donta Foreman and Khalil Herbert, but Herbert, though he's kind of the starting running back, he seems like way more of like a check down guy. Donta Foreman's going to get the big snaps, but I think Roshan Johnson has a place in this offense. Though we're not going to see all that much of him, I think he gets like 100 some odd carries this year and probably a couple of touchdowns.
Okay, I like that.
So watch out for him. I love Rasul Douglas, cornerback for the Packers. I think being on the opposite side from Jair Alexander helps him out a ton, obviously. But I don't know. I really like him. I like his build at the position. And yeah, Jair Alexander is a lockdown corner. Rasul Douglas plays a very similar game, just maybe not as much shit talking.
I have more AJ Dillon.
Yeah,
I with no Aaron Rodgers and obviously them kind of getting depleted at wide receiver, I think it'll be a lot of Aaron Jones, of course, but I think it'll be even more AJ Dillon.
yeah. I think that well, they'll both just see a huge increase in carries because me and you voiced our opinions last year on how many carries those two were getting. It was ridiculous how low it was.
And it's about time to shine for
Yeah,
these guys.
like both of these
So,
guys should like one of them should be getting 20, 25. One of them should be getting like 15 to 20 every game.
yeah, and that's a fuck ton.
Yeah.
But you're exactly right. Like when you have guys that can, especially like Aaron Jones and AJ Dillon, one thing that they have in common that I think is very underrated is they're super durable, both of them. They're the kind of guys that, like you said, AJ Dillon could probably be the guy who carries, 25 times just
Yeah.
off of his durability. He's not better than Aaron Jones, but both of these guys can definitely play a full football game, and they definitely should. They should be getting the ball a lot.
Yeah, like we saw how Aaron Jones came back from an injury last year very quickly and was so ready to get the snaps.
Yes. Yep.
So I love what those two have to offer. My last surprise guy, though, Jack Campbell for the Lions. Love it. I think that Dan Campbell has a very good idea of the players he wants. Because everybody thought Jack Campbell was a huge reach. I certainly know that we did when he picked him. And I'm starting to trust it. I trust how Dan Campbell sees these defensive players, and I really like what Jack Campbell has to offer. It's just a very physical, classic linebacker.
I like what you mentioned about Dan Campbell because I completely agree. Like I feel like he's the kind of coach that knows exactly what he's going to get. Like he has a very good read on not only a player's skill but also like his players' like kind of mentality and like their psyche as well.
Yeah, Jack Campbell
like
fits that mold 100%.
Yes. Yes. I had a couple more.
Okay.
I think, Brian Branch, not a lot of guys are high on him, but this is a guy that can become like top 3 safety in the league very quickly. I think he's that good. Sam Laporta, another guy, gonna kind of fill in the role of Hawkinson. If he can be anything like Hawkinson in that, system, I think it could work out very well. I mentioned him earlier and kind of just echoing the same reason. David Montgomery, I have always been super, super, super high on him his entire career, basically. Of course, a lot of people thinking that he's like washed now. I'm not really too sure where that comes from, but finally has a good offensive line. And if, like we said earlier, Jahmyr Gibbs, if he's, feeling the rookie pressure or just not really having good games, he can take a seat and David Montgomery is going to do just fine. DJ Moore, I think, is going to finally surprise a lot of people. I think he's going to be able to show off his talent a little bit more because of, and my next surprise players is actually a whole group, the Bears offensive line. I think it'll be a lot better than last season, especially with their first round edition. Oh my God, who did they take in the first round at offensive line?
Right?
Thank you, Darnell Wright. Um, I still don't think. I think where the Bears are going to lose will be Justin Fields. I think he's still going to need to adjust into the pass game for a couple more seasons, but I do think the Bears' offensive line will surprise a lot of people.
Yeah, I do like that take. I know there's some questions at left guard just because Cody Whitehair, their center, also played a little bit of left guard last year. I have a feeling it's Dan Feeney who will end up in at left guard, but nonetheless, yeah, I think this offensive line is gonna be great.
Yes.
So, yeah, I think that does it. Any closing statements for this division?
Man, I'm just very excited to watch the Vikings offense again. And another player, I'm actually surprised that we didn't even talk about this like the entire time we were covering the division, but obviously Dalvin Cook won't be there. Alexander Madison may be kind of a sleeper. He may be another surprise player that I could throw out there. Because I mean, every time Dalvin Cook went down, it seemed like everybody's like number one waiver was Alexander Madison for fantasy football, and he did the same thing in the couple of games that he was starting. So I think Alexander Madison can surprise a lot of people. And then the last thing is, put some respect on the Lions. They're going to be super good this year.
Yeah, I absolutely hate everybody that just thinks Alexander Madison's gonna be a good running back. Um, I genuinely don't understand how, like, coming in the handful of times that Dalvin got hurt, playing pretty well, but like it is an entirely different game when you get the bulk of the snaps every single game, every game of the year. Like it's a whole nother ball game. So
That is
I
very
don't.
true.
Yeah, I don't see why like Alexander Madison every single week that Dalvin was out while he was in Minnesota, it was just like get Alexander Madison. He's gonna have a big game, and most of the time he showed up. A lot of, quite a few times he didn't. So I don't know. I just it's a big difference when you go from maybe getting 10 carries most of your games to probably getting closer to 20 every single game. It's a big difference, and some guys don't like it.
Yeah, and I mean, I think the other side of it though that I can bring up is that it obviously the coaches have seen Alexander Madison. They clearly believe in Alexander Madison, and they didn't even really try to replace Dalvin Cook. I feel like they didn't get a second guy to even back up Alexander Madison. I feel like I really don't know who the Vikings' other running back is. So I imagine that the coaching staff at least trusts that Alexander Madison is ready for that step and he's ready for the bulk of carrying their rushing offense.
Yeah, I think they picked up Myles Gaskin off waivers, and I'm looking at it now. They also have Ty Chandler, who is a second-year player out of North Carolina.
Gotcha.
So yeah, they don't have much running back talent outside of Madison.
No.
So if he does go down, which he's questionable right now, it's not looking good in the run game, but they don't really need it.
Yeah, that's very true.
All right, let's talk about a whole different brand of football.
Oh yeah, here we go.
Over to the Premier League. First of all, I'd like to say now. I'm gonna get ahead of this.
I already know.
Fuck Darwin Núñez, that piece of shit. Fuck him. I can't. I can't. Like,
How is he
what
not
is
starting?
Yes, but also, what the fuck kind of schedule did they give us to start this season? Like, it's ridiculous.
No, you can't be bitching about it now. This is the chance to prove yourself.
Okay, well, I talked about it at the beginning of the year that I did not like how this season started. It's scary. And it's been scary. Yeah, great game against Aston Villa to start the season. And then we get Man City, Liverpool, and then I think we have Brighton this weekend. We have and then it slows down, which is great. October is our chance to get ahead of it. And then it ramps right back up. Arsenal, 2 weeks later, Chelsea, Man U, 2 weeks later from that, Spurs. Like, it doesn't fucking end. And then December, of course, we end off right before that, like week and a half or 2 weeks off. We have to face Liverpool again, and then we come back and play Man City. And that's how the first half of our season goes.
You've gotten heated a lot on this episode. I think this is a record. I love this.
I just
This is funny.
I don't know. Everything's pissing me off right now.
Hey, but I mean, if Newcastle have the lineup on paper to be prepared for all of that, though.
Yeah.
If I'm a Newcastle fan, it's still an adjustment period to being, considered one of the bigger teams. So I'm still high on them, and I'm going to be very patient with them. But that loss last weekend was absolutely brutal, and especially the thing that stumps me the most is Newcastle's defense last season, and I would say at the beginning of this season, holding Man City to 1 goal and Aston Villa, I think, to 1 goal, and then you somehow not only were you getting beat the whole game, which they weren't. They were dominant, playing 10 men down Liverpool. How does someone score against Newcastle that quickly and in that clutch of a situation? Just completely unlike the defense that we've seen, all of 2022 and at the start of this season.
Yeah,
Newcastle.
I don't get it because Liverpool's defense played so bad.
They're horrible.
Matip was probably the only one that had a pretty good game, and it wasn't that good. Obviously, Virgil got sent off. Robertson didn't look that good. Trent didn't look that good. And Wataru Endo looked kind of useless there in the middle.
100%. Yeah. Yeah.
I just don't get it. I don't understand how Darwin Núñez comes on and just shits down our throat.
Yeah, and I mean, to keep it with Liverpool for just one more thing is Gakpo, with the addition of Endo, Gakpo actually got to be moved out of center mid, but they put him at striker with, I think, Luis Diaz and Mohamed Salah. How does Diaz start over Núñez?
I don't get it.
And I mean, he there's no way against Villa this weekend that there's no way that Núñez won't start, right? There's no way. But
I think you're right.
Liverpool even lined up bad in my opinion. Of course, we'll talk about it later, but they did just get Gravenberg from Bayern Munich, which will be Endo may never see the pitch again, which I'm fine with. I think a one and done with him is okay with me.
Yeah, even though they spent 30 million.
Yeah, I was watching this game live, and of course I was pulling for Newcastle a little bit for you. Not saying that we don't have any competition, but it's kind of fun. And then Liverpool, who have just been a shit show all at the start of the season, somehow continue to get lucky against these teams. Liverpool are by far the luckiest team in the Premier League right now.
Yeah.
I don't understand how they have been able to get the results with the team and the lineup that they have been lining up with. And now they will have better players joining them. It's just, as a Chelsea fan, it is so frustrating to see how lucky Liverpool have gotten.
Dude, I pray that these rumors about Mohamed Salah going to Saudi Arabia are true.
Dude, they were gonna give him more money than Cristiano Ronaldo. His offer would have made him the highest paid player over there.
Please take him.
Yes.
I've never wanted a player to go to Saudi Arabia more.
Yeah. But back to Newcastle though, as we are covering Newcastle Brighton. I just wanted to say that Anthony Gordon versus Liverpool, Grayson.
He's so good, man.
He was the best player the entire game.
He's so good.
I mean, it was unbelievable. Dude, this little white kid is out here looking like prime Brazilian winger. It is so beautiful to watch him.
Yeah,
and
dude.
Just the work rate defensively is even impressive. He goes for 50-50 hard, and Anthony Gordon might be one of my fucking favorite players, easily.
Yeah, I'm super excited to watch him for the rest of this season. Not very happy with Alexander Isak's start. This game was just pretty brutal for him. But nonetheless, other than him, I don't mind how the team played. Obviously, the defense was not there as soon as Darwin came in the game. But I need to see better play out of my two center backs. Sven Botman and Fabian Schär need to show me much better because last year they were phenomenal.
Yes.
I don't know what happened, but for some reason they're just off to start this whole season.
Yeah, and it's you would think with how good they were last year that they would get it eventually.
Yeah.
So, hopefully.
But on Brighton's side, Yeah, all these guys are leaving, but they still have a good ass team.
Yeah, Ansu Fati is rumored with them
It's
now.
not just rumored.
Yeah.
I believe that one's just about done.
Oh wow.
Um, and that's going to be a big part of this team. But also, the guys they already have are playing pretty well. They didn't look great against West Ham last week, but West Ham is on a heater right now. So,
They are. And like I may have sent this to you, but they essentially replaced Declan Rice with three players, and those three players didn't even amount to how much Declan Rice sold. So they
yeah.
still had like a I guess like a net profit is what you would call it maybe.
Hmm.
And it's just like Edison Alvarez, dog. And then was it who were the other two players that they signed in there?
Well, James Ward Prowse.
James Ward-Prowse was one of them, and would it have been Kudus? Have they signed him yet?
I don't I don't think so. And
I
he
don't
would have
remember
played
what it
on the
was.
wing, so
Anyway,
not
though,
too sure.
West Ham have been super impressive though.
Yeah, they have. And we talked about last week, how are they going to make a midfield where they can get all these guys in? And I think they did a great job. Um, so they still sat Pablo Fornals in this one, but the midfield three was Alvarez in like holding midfield, and then Susek and Ward Prowse more like straight up center mid, and then they put Bowen on the right and Paqueta on the left.
Oh, interesting. So they moved Paqueta out wide.
Yeah,
Huh. I'm not really too sure about that. Like I think it's a sick lineup on paper as far as like fitting all of your best players in one lineup. But I don't know how I feel about Paqueta being moved out wide.
I think it's fine. Like he's got the speed and the playmaking ability that it works, but I still think he does play better in the center. But then
Yep.
again, like Emerson is decent at kind of moving up the left, anyways.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Um, but like Saeed Benrahma came in the 39th minute to replace Susek and got an assist. So they've obviously got their things figured out.
He came in the 39th.
Yeah.
Why?
I believe Susek went down just with like a small injury.
Gotcha.
I don't know what it was, but he did exit with an injury in the 39th.
Okay, because that's just kind of weird to sub a player that's not injured in the first half.
Yeah.
But we did see that in the World Cup though. That
True.
was kind of interesting. I did just remember that.
But yeah, Brighton, Newcastle, though, once again, these are two teams that obviously I liked both of these teams last year. They were two of the finalists for me to pick as my team, and I like how both these teams line up. I still favor Newcastle, of course. But with how bad our defense has been, it's been hard to say that we're not going to give up a goal. So I think it's going to be a 1-1 draw.
I don't really like with how Brighton played against West Ham, but I'm actually going to go Newcastle 2-1.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. Well, let's talk the next one. Another big matchup: Liverpool, Aston Villa. Um,
Yes.
I really like this matchup.
Yeah, me too.
Maybe I'm dumb because like Villa has quite a few injuries, but
Okay.
I don't know. There's something about him that I really like watching.
Well, speaking of injuries, and this is actually something that I had in my notes for Villa, is I didn't realize the amount of like depth that they had. Like their last Prem game that they played on their bench alone versus Burnley, they had Leon Bailey, who proven Jamaican winger, Nicolo Zaniolo, the kid from Galatasaray, but previously he was at Roma and he's looked good at Galatasaray and Roma. Bertrand Traore, he's a striker that's been around for a while, and then Yuri Tielemans, just off of their bench alone. And they ended up getting a 3-1 win versus Burnley without starting those guys. So despite the injuries, I think they're going to be fine. And the fact that they got Pau Torres is just insane to me. I cannot believe he didn't end up at a bigger club because he is he's just sick at defending.
Yeah, I really like how they lined up last week, and you're entirely right to point out those guys that were on the bench because they're all great, but also like they have good players that are hurt too. Emiliano Martinez is still hurt. Emiliano Buendia is hurt. Jacob Ramsey is hurt. Philippe Coutinho, not very important, probably on the move. He was hurt as well, and Tyrone Mings missed that one. So, and they still had a great lineup to put out on the field. Like the back three of Consa, Diego Carlos, and Pau Torres locked down, like so
Yeah,
good. The
yeah.
midfield was great. You had Digne and Matty Cash at wingback. Like this team looks so goddamn good. I don't get
Yeah,
it.
it really does. It really does seem, and I'm glad that it looks like it's even continuing this season. But I don't know if you remember this, but I brought it up. It seems like the talent spread of the Premier League last season just astronomically jumped. Like
Yeah.
all of these mid-table teams have like very, very serviceable, decent players and lineups that they line up with. And like you said, Aston Villa is the perfect example. And Matty Cash getting 2 goals from the wingback spot, the Polish right back, or right wingback rather. I love watching it. And then Lucas Digne, of course, another left back that has defensive capabilities, but he also has offensive capabilities. So Newcastle just really lined up perfectly. And I don't know if you mentioned Coutinho, but he was I think he's doubtful going into the next game. So that's even another guy that they're winning without.
Yeah, but he also hasn't been good, and apparently the club wants him gone. I
Oh
think
wow.
I think that's in the transfer news. But I do want to talk about Moussa Diaby. He's been a fantastic pickup for them.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
showing off the pace and the playmaking ability. Like created 2 chances, scored a goal and an assist. Like the goal was great, right outside the box, straight up the middle, top bins, like beautiful stuff. And then just a great job in general on the attacking side.
Yeah, and they still have Ollie Watkins at striker. I love Ollie Watkins. I
Yeah,
think he's
he's a
very,
great
very
target.
good. He is.
But on the new Liverpool side, obviously we talked about Liverpool. They're still good. That's the problem. And if we see Gravenberch this weekend, like that lineup is gonna look so good.
Yeah, it just like it makes you wonder, like, how are Liverpool going to line up? That's actually something good that we could talk about. Like, do we see the same lineup as the lineup against Newcastle, but it's Indo and Gravenberg switched? Does Gravenberg play in the next game? Like, and if he does play, what if they decide to play Gravenberg and Indo? Then who comes out of the lineup? Like, there are a lot of things that I feel like Liverpool have given themselves, like, they've given themselves a lot of options at midfield, which is exactly what we were shitting on them for last week and a week before.
Yeah,
So
I think we'll see a bit of a structural change because they've been sticking to this 4-3-3, but Konate is injured and Van Dijk is suspended. So maybe just Joe Gomez just fills right in for Van Dijk and they stick with this 4-3-3. But yeah, if Gravenberch is ready, then I say he just starts over Endo straight up.
yeah, I kind of like that too because then you're looking at losing, either one of your front three players, which are like some of the best players on your team, and Mohamed Salah, Cody Gakpo, Darwin Nunez, and even Lucas Diaz, or Luis Diaz still there. But then if you look at the midfield, you're potentially losing Alexis McAllister or Dominic Soboslai. I would rather lose Indo out of all those players.
Yeah, definitely.
The other side of that is that your holding midfield hasn't been that good. What if you want to go with both Gravenberg and Indo to fix that problem? That's what I think Liverpool have done themselves a good job is they can, interchange now kind of really however they want to.
Yeah, I will say like Saboslai could play up on the right if I don't even know what they do with Salah in that instance, but like there is some changes
Sell
they
them.
could make. Yeah, sell him, get money, and buy a defensive mid in the next 3 days,
Yeah.
or whenever this transfer window closes. I think it literally closes like in the coming
It's today.
days. Is it
No,
really
it's in
today?
it's in hours. Yeah.
Oh
The transfer
shit!
window is always the last day of the month.
I totally forgot about that.
Yeah.
Or no, it closes on Friday.
Really?
Yeah,
So no, but this morning though, it had to be at 12 p.m. It would close the first. So they essentially have tonight.
yeah. It says British Standard Time, 23 o'clock on Friday,
Okay.
which I mean that's 11 p.m. Friday
So
night
that's weird. Did they
in
extend it
England.
a day?
I don't know.
That's
It like
confusing. I
it
always
closes
thought
on
it.
different days in the different leagues. So
Oh, okay. Well, interesting.
yeah.
Um,
Nonetheless, I think I don't know with this one. they're both good. I think I'm leaning Villa.
Yeah, I'm gonna go 1-1 actually. It just seems like, you know what? Fuck it. 2-1 Aston Villa. Liverpool are depleted right now. This is gonna be the game they lose.
Yeah, I'm going with you 2-1.
Yeah, and for me, Virgil being suspended, we've seen Liverpool without Virgil van Dijk, and it's kind of comical.
Yeah, they're
It just
bad.
the level of play drastically changes when Virgil van Dijk isn't on the pitch, and I think that's what we're gonna see.
Yeah, and let's talk about this next match though. Arsenal Man U. Great matchup.
Woo! Yeah,
Great matchup. Early season as well.
yeah, both of these teams coming off of red card games. Of course, Arsenal somehow drew 2-2 to Fulham with 10
Oh
men.
my God.
And Manchester United, Manchester United barely scraped a win with the Bruno Fernandes penalty. I think like in the 75th minute to a 10-man down Nottingham Forest. Which actually something else that's kind of interesting. The amount of red cards this season, it's like they're on pace to break the Premier League season record of red
Yeah.
cards in a season right now.
Oh, they're flying.
So
These refs, they were for real when they said
they're
that
doing a
they're
great job.
yeah, they're really calling it. But I don't know, like that Arsenal Fulham game was a little bit telling of the struggles of this defense.
Yes.
And I think that like Ben White had a brutal game. Jakob Kiwior, I think it's Kiwior. I don't know. At left back certainly isn't working. Zinchenko needs to start there.
Yeah, or Tomiyasu.
Yeah,
I like him a
honestly.
lot.
I don't even know is Tomiyasu even still there? Because he wasn't.
He is.
It doesn't show
He was
him on the bench for
suspended.
me. Oh, okay.
Yep.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Um, but yeah, like the attack is fine. I do not like Landry Trossard at striker.
No, not at all.
That doesn't quite work. I think you might as well just start Nikita because they have
Who came
sold.
in and got a goal.
Yeah, they have sold Valerian Balogun officially to Monaco, so he's gone. But it looks like Gabriel Jesus is coming back into the squad, so he'll probably start this weekend.
Yeah, they gave him probably like what, like 2 minutes. They gave him basically extra time. He
Yeah,
subbed in for Declan Rice. Which is good to see. He's a player that you want to be healthy in the Premier League. I feel like regardless of what team you support. But yeah, no, Arsenal and Kai Havertz as well, man. Just I don't know. I might have been right about him.
you
His
might
his
have.
career's over. In other words.
Okay, well, it's good to see
Or
that
he'll be,
Bukayo Saka is still good.
but yeah, of course. But yeah, once I feel like Gabriel Jesus is back in the starting lineup, you're going to see a much better Arsenal. Obviously, maybe not as good as last season, but they're going to be much better.
Yeah,
And how about the Polish international Jakub Kiwior?
yeah.
Came in at I guess one of the backs here, and he actually had a very good game with Thomas Partey.
It was all right for him at left back.
I mean, I'm showing a 7.1 rating. I didn't watch the game. I'm just going off of this.
I'm showing a 6.5.
Okay, maybe we need to start using the same thing.
I don't know. It doesn't seem like he has a little bit of attacking prowess, but doesn't get up there all that much and is a pretty bad crosser. The defense is fine, but he's certainly not like a physical winner in the defense. So he did fine, but Zinchenko is still the starter to me.
Yeah, and they really need Timber back, I think, is where
Yeah,
it's going to
they
make the
do.
difference.
Ben White was not working.
No, not at all.
But nonetheless, like this Arsenal team is good. Ramsdale had a bit of an off day, but this team is still very good.
It is. But, I would expect them to a 10-0 down Fulham be able to win the game.
Yes, they should.
So I feel like that's very telling, like you said.
And then for Manchester United, with Højlund out, Martial's just going to have to start up front. Is it going to be him or Rashford? Anthony did have a pretty good game. I'll give him that. Casemiro had a great game. He had a goal. Bruno Fernandes looked just ungodly good.
Yeah. Very, very good. I like the way they lined up against Nottingham Forest, though, because I really do think, and we saw this with Weghorst last year, as long as Marcus Rashford, Grayson, is not playing striker, your team will be able to score goals. It doesn't matter.
Yep.
Weghorst could score 0 goals in a season, which I think is exactly what he did, and they will be fine. As long as Rashford can not only be able to score from the left mid spot, but if he can also be able to show off his playmaking ability, which is still highly underrated in my opinion, that is when the entire team is most effective. And I have to say, and this isn't just me being a petty Chelsea fan, I love Christian Eriksen starting over Mason Mount. He got a goal.
Yeah. Yeah, Christian
I love
Eriksen
it.
had a great game. And I was surprised to see how well Aaron Wan-Bissaka played. He's just not a guy that is really on my radar anymore. Like, just
Yeah.
isn't very good. And with Luke Shaw out, Diogo Dalot did a great job at left back. Andre Onana he's gotta work on not getting carded.
He's an aggressive keeper, man.
He is, but like he wasn't even really sweeping in this one. It's those balls in the air, especially on corners, that he just gets a little out of whack, and at some point it's gonna really hurt him.
Yeah, I'm actually looking at it now. This yellow card was for time wasting.
Oh, what a surprise.
Yeah, that's another thing that I feel like he does a lot.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
Nottingham Forest really not that good. Like they should not be giving up 2 goals at all to this team.
No. No, I completely agree with that.
But then again, the 2 goals came in the 2nd minute and the 4th minute. So maybe they just weren't ready.
Yeah, that definitely could have been it as well.
But when it comes to Man U Arsenal, I don't know. It just really depends on how Eric Ten Hag sets up this lineup.
I think if he goes the same lineup, but replacing the players with injury, like it. Do we know if Luke Shaw is going to be back for Arsenal?
I don't think so. It looks like he's out till like mid-September.
Well, yeah, I'll just go ahead and say it. With this lineup, I think I could see Manchester United putting another 3 goals up on Arsenal. I'm going to go 3-2 for United again.
Okay, yeah, I do agree with that high scoring line. I think I'm gonna go a 2-2 draw. I think both these teams are gonna play well, but it'll probably be a late goal from Arsenal that equalizes it.
Okay.
Well, a couple other games in the Prem this weekend that are still pretty good. Not quite as competitive matchups though. Let's see. We've got like Luton West Ham on Friday. It's going to be a battering. Chelsea Nottingham Forest, Man City Fulham. Man City Fulham is a good game. It's not quite up on that same tier as the ones we just talked about. And that's kind of really it. Like Crystal Palace Wolves going on, Burnley Spurs, Brentford Bournemouth, Sheffield Everton is a battle of who's worse.
Yeah.
They're going to be fighting to lose that game.
Who can lose it the worst?
Yeah. If that game's not a 0-0 draw, I'd be surprised.
Oh,
like,
man.
how bad is Everton? Can we talk about this real quick?
Yeah, I know. Like they have been one of those teams that has just been so consistent like our entire lives, and now we're just watching the downfall.
Yeah, like how quickly are they going to clinch relegation is the question this season.
I completely agree.
It is hard to watch. Very hard to watch. And like there's some guys on this team that like I don't hate. It's just like they're not good, man. There's just something missing here.
Dude, that Lukaku Ross Barkley partnership back in the day though. What a time.
Yeah, dude. Lukaku with the long hair, bro.
Yeah. You're right.
I forgot those days.
God, I can't stand fucking Lukaku, dude.
All right, well, let's get to the thing that is probably going to make me more mad than anything else we've talked about so far today, which is the UCL groups, because Newcastle got fucked. But overall, these groups are crazy. So we'll start
this is
at
a live reaction. I actually don't even know.
Okay, perfect. So Group A, you have Bayern Munich, Manchester United, Copenhagen out of Denmark, and Galatasaray.
Whoa, that off the start, that's a good group.
It is.
And
But
this is my favorite thing about the UCL, though, is obviously Copenhagen are going to get ran over.
yeah.
When those big teams go and play in Denmark, those Copenhagen fans are fucking crazy. And obviously, the Galatasaray fans, they speak for themselves. Those away days are the days that I look for in the UCL because those are going to be hard games to go win at.
Yeah. It's definitely a good group. But like Bayern and Man U, obviously the favorites to get out of it. Then
Yep.
again, Manchester United, not the best history in the Champions League. So,
No, not recently at least.
yeah. So we'll have to see. Galatasaray, always a pretty good team.
Yeah, but it's cool that they're back. I think they've kind of taken a break from the Champions League for the last couple of years. I think, right? Manchester United, they haven't been in a minute.
Yeah, it's been a couple of years. A lot of Europa League.
Yeah, well, it's still going to be cool. I think everybody should tune in to watch like the first Champions League game at Old Trafford in the group stage because the fans are going to show out. I mean, that's one of the temples of the sport. And
Yep.
when it hosts the Champions League, especially for the first time in like a year or two, it's gonna be rocking.
For sure. And then Group B, you have your Europa League powerhouse Sevilla,
Oh God.
Arsenal, PSV, and Lens out of France.
Ooh, I could see PSV maybe getting through there.
Yep. I was thinking the same thing. Sevilla loves the Europa League. They'd love to get knocked out in the group stages.
Just to go, XP farm in the Europa League.
Yeah. Against Liverpool.
Yep.
Group C, great group as well. Napoli, Real Madrid, Braga, and Union Berlin, the surprise of Germany.
Ooh,
So,
I like that.
yeah, a very good group. Group D, not as strong of a group as the others, but still pretty good. Benfica, Inter, Red Bull Salzburg, and Real Sociedad.
Dang, Inter got pretty nice there, but I feel like
Yeah.
Sociedad and Benfica though will be tough.
Certainly. And I'm sure Salzburg has some random ass guy that's going to get sold for a lot of money in a couple years. So,
Yeah, all the big coaches watching him play against their team, of
yeah,
course.
he'll probably be on Leipzig like next year.
Yeah.
But Group E is pretty weak. Feyenoord, Atletico Madrid, Lazio, and Celtic.
Wow.
Yeah. And then we get to Group F, which stands for Fuck Grayson. You have PSG, Borussia Dortmund, AC Milan, and Newcastle United.
Oh wow!
Yeah, what the fuck?
Oh my gosh, that is such a good group.
I'm gonna get fucked. Like we're so
Damn.
fucked. We're coming in last in this fucking group.
Really think so?
I really do.
Oh, I don't know. I bet Dortmund could surprise people with how I bet Dortmund could come last.
I would love for PSG to, especially if they're not
That'd
gonna
be
play
fantastic.
Mbappe.
Yeah. Yep, which I think they actually are now, but
Fuck them.
yeah, fuck them. Damn, your team did kind of get fucked there. That's
Yeah,
a tough group.
dude. Like, why couldn't we be in this next group? Group G is Man City, Leipzig, and then I think it's Cervena Zvezda, but that's just Red Star Belgrade. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's Red Star Belgrade, and then Young Boys from Switzerland.
So one of my, I didn't know that Red Star was going to be in the Champions League. They were in it, I think, in 2018 or 2019, and I have some cool facts about this. So sorry to kind of stop your roll. Red Star Belgrade played Liverpool in the group stage. Red Star Belgrade beat Liverpool in the Serbia game, and like just watching the fan videos on Instagram, like what I would have loved to have been there. But one interesting thing, Serbia is such a like the Balkans is such like a gunpowder keg of Europe, I think is what I was taught in school. And Liverpool literally didn't bring Shaqiri on that away trip because he probably would have started a riot in the stands.
Well, we remember the World Cup.
Yeah, with like the Albanian and like the Serbian kind of like connection there. There isn't a connection. It's more of just kind of like,
a disconnect.
Kill each other. Yeah. And like they didn't even bring a player. A player that definitely would have been at least on the bench at that time in Liverpool too. Just insane. So that's not cool to for that reason. But Red Star Belgrade, I'm happy to see them because they're gonna be fun.
Yeah, but yeah, Pep is just fucking walking into the fucking knockout stages there.
Yeah, I wonder how much he paid to get Red Star in his group.
Yeah, well, you're about to ask how much Xavi paid because
Oh,
Group
no.
H is Barcelona, Porto, Shakhtar Donetsk, and Antwerp.
Oh, man.
So yeah, Xavi and Pep are just celebrating like they just won the treble or something.
Yeah. Well, they need to be.
Yeah.
Wow.
So that's the groups. There's a couple of fantastic groups. I'll say it. Look, as a soccer fan, Group F is great. As a Newcastle fan, I'm gonna be hanging from the ceiling.
Dude, just to go across the list, you have AC Milan, who were in the Champions League semifinal last year. Borussia Dortmund almost won the Bundesliga. They pretty much had it in the bag, in my opinion. And then Paris Saint-Germain are, always good, always dominant. And then there's Newcastle.
Dude, the fact that we're gonna have to go to AC Milan, like go to the San Siro, watch this fucking Sandro Tonali tribute video, and then just fucking score, like fucking give up a goal to Christian Pulisic is gonna piss me off.
The LeBron James of soccer.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
They look just alike.
They do. Very similar.
But yeah, I think this is going to be a very exciting group stage. There's a lot of matchups I'm very much looking forward to.
Yep. Yeah, I completely agree.
Yeah. So very excited. I know we both really enjoyed covering the Champions League last year, so this would be a fun ride this season.
Yes, 100%.
Especially getting to cover it throughout the entire thing, because we kind of started at like the round of 16 last year?
I thought we had... Yeah, never mind. It was the round of 16.
Yeah.
When we started.
But nonetheless...
Yeah, so it'll be fun to do the groups and stuff. Talk about some of the smaller teams and stuff.
Yeah, it'll definitely be fun. I can't wait to cover Shakhtar Donetsk versus Antwerp.
Yeah, that's going to be... Who are the players?
Probably, oh, fuck. What's that dude's name that just always played on Shakhtar Donetsk, the Brazilian guy? Douglas Costa? Played there forever.
That Teixeira Brazilian midfielder did for a minute too.
For a while. A lot of
team that Mudryk came from.
Yeah, also. That's also a good one. But Chelsea's not in the Champions League, so we're not talking about him right now.
No, we're not.
But let's get into the transfer news. It's always a fun time because I don't know, there's something fun about seeing everybody leave.
Yeah, it's also fun when you and I just absolutely shit on moves.
Yeah. But let's start with a really good move. Inter have signed Benjamin Pavard from Bayern. The fee $30 million and another $2 million in add-ons.
That's a pretty good fee for, I feel like, for his kind of player. So that's going to be good for him.
He fits that attacking minded fullback position that Inter likes to go with. So it plays really well. And then full agreement has been reached for the loan transfer of Ansu Fati. Brighton will pay Ansu Fati about £160,000 a week, which is almost twice as much as any other player on that team.
Damn, high roller.
Yeah, I think their highest paid player before him is like $90K a week.
Gotcha. Well, for Ansu Fati, there really isn't. There's not a lot of other like teams I'd want to play for at my age and kind of like where I'm at in my career than Brighton. I think he's going to an awesome spot.
Yeah. I just hope that he doesn't like push somebody very good out of the lineup.
He just might.
Because like Solly March is a player that I really like to watch on Brighton. Yep. And if they just start Ansu Fati over him for no reason, I'm going to be kind of mad.
Well, you'll have to let him know on the next podcast when we find out.
I definitely will. But the next move, Roma. I almost said AC Roma. AS Roma have signed Romelu Lukaku on a season-long loan from Chelsea.
Oh, fuck yourself. Good riddance.
He's coming back at the end of the year. It always happens. He's always going to come back, train with the under-21 teams because whoever the manager is at the time doesn't want to train him, and then they'll just send him off somewhere else, and nobody will buy him.
Dude, it's I hate this guy, bro. Like, I heard he was training with the under-21s, but I also heard that sometimes he would train by himself. Like, have private sessions and shit. He's such a cock. Like, I'm so glad he's gone.
Yeah. The thing is like, I respect what he does when he goes on loan because I think the last 2 times he's taken a pay cut so that Chelsea doesn't have to pay his salary.
Oh well.
So that's kind of nice.
But anyway, there was a funny thing that came from a Pochettino press conference. I may have sent it to you, but it was there was like banging on one of the doors, and like they were like joking, so like everybody was laughing. And one of the reporters or journalists, he was like, "Is that Lukaku trying to leave?" And Pochettino just laughed.
That is
So
funny.
yeah, I love it.
Pretty surprising move here. Leonardo Bonucci is leaving Juventus and joining Union Berlin.
A pickup, aging
Yeah.
like fine wine. He is still top tier defender, I think.
A great
Very
pickup.
good.
Monaco have signed Folarin Balogun, like I said, 45 million euros and a contract till 2028.
I like this move. Definitely going to get playing time more at Monaco than at Arsenal. So,
Yeah.
And I'm excited. We watched him in the CONCACAF, and I know you and I were both high on him. So, really excited to see what he can do at the club level.
Yeah, I can't wait to see kind of like how the experience of playing in a top league consistently is going to help him out, especially when it comes to international play when we get to see him.
Yeah, 100%.
And then Bayern are demanding about 30 million pounds, or sorry, 30 million euros from Liverpool for Ryan Gravenberch. And it apparently he has made it clear that he wants to leave.
Interesting. Yeah, this is a massive dove for Liverpool.
Yeah, it's huge. You know, we kind of already talked about how important he'd be in that lineup, but definitely a huge move here nearing the end of the deadline. But of course, Bayern Munich has to get a replacement, and why not go for somebody better, like João Palhinha, who has agreed to a 5-year contract with Bayern until 2028, and it looks like the negotiations on a fee are ongoing.
You know, to change subject, Harry Kane's been over the he's been playing phenomenal.
Yeah,
the
he has.
Bundesliga at the start too. So yeah, Bayern are looking definitely like the favorites to win the Bundesliga. I think more so than last season.
Yeah, I think they're gonna be better for sure.
Yes.
But Tottenham are preparing a late move to try and sign Conor Gallagher, but he's also been on Bayern's radar.
This isn't going to happen.
He's not going anywhere.
I'm putting my foot down. He has rejected so many moves, unlike Mason Mount, leave the team, and I really like. I think about this at least once every day. Like you completely hit the nail on the head when you like talked about Conor Gallagher's mentality with this Chelsea team, and that's kind of the same thing that I want to echo here. Is this is the club he wants to be at, and he's going to fight for a starting 11 job very hard.
Yeah, and I think Poch is inviting him to do that.
Yeah, which is very nice from a manager standpoint.
Yeah. Next move though, Besiktas and Real Betis are both in contact with Aston Villa to sign Philippe Coutinho, and it seems like they want him to go.
Yeah, I would like him to go to Turkey. Honestly.
Yeah. Why not hit another league?
Yep. Check it off the bucket list.
Yeah, you've been to enough. But next, it's likely that Mo Salah will leave Liverpool this week for Saudi Arabia. That one's coming from, can't remember the source, but it was like a pretty popular name to see sourced on a lot of this transfer news I get.
So with Salah gone, who is your front three with Liverpool?
I think Szoboszlai just slides in on the right, and then when you sign Gravenberch, him, Endo, and McAllister run that midfield.
Yeah, I don't mind that. I don't know. Nunez, Gakpo, and Diaz, I think, is what I would go with. Because even though I kind of said that he shouldn't start in this Liverpool team, with Mo Salah gone, I like Diaz a lot. And I think, Szoboszlai's looked fine at that center mid role. Personally, I wouldn't want to change that. But, I also agree that with what you said is another very good way that Liverpool could line up as well.
Yeah. And then Brighton have signed midfielder Carlos Baleba from Lille for $30 million. I believe he's from Cameroon. So how long is it going to be until Chelsea buys him for like 100 million pounds or more?
January is, a couple months. Oh, man.
Yeah, apparently a lot of people are very excited about this move. I haven't heard much about this guy, But he'll probably just be, once again, another great player that Brighton builds.
Yep.
And looks like Arsenal have rejected Chelsea's first approach for Emile Smith-Rowe. Said they're not keen on selling the midfielder to a direct rival at this stage.
I don't blame him.
Yeah,
At all.
I get why you'd be interested because he's a great young player. But does Chelsea really need another? Like, do they need another good young player that they're going to sit here and wait on?
No, I don't think so. If anything, I would like to see. Um, hmm. I would like to see Kukurea leave, which I think
I
that
think
was
he's gone.
it was close to happening today, and I think that actually fell through.
Oh, really?
So I would like to see Kukurea leave and us bring in a backup for him, or maybe not, because I know we have Ian Matson. Of course, Lewis Hall would have been a perfect fit there, but you guys jumped on that,
Yep.
which is going to be very good for y'all. But, yeah, I would either take a replacement for Kukurea to be a backup or a backup striker to Nico Jackson.
Well, you're not going to be
That
happy
is where
about
I'm
this
thinking.
then, because
Here we
Chelsea
go.
are on the verge of reaching an agreement with Man City to sign Cole Palmer for £45 million.
Another midfielder coming to the team.
Yep. I like Cole
Oh,
Palmer,
man.
and he can play out on the wing.
Your mic cut out really bad right there. I didn't even hear what you said.
Oh, I said I like Cole Palmer, and he could play out on the wing. So
That is true. He's also 6'2", so he's got
Yeah.
kind of that awkward, big build. But it just makes you think, like, does Chelsea's like midfield practice, like when they break off into like their positions, like do they just never like miss a pass? Like, what happens with how loaded Chelsea's midfield are in training?
I don't know, but it doesn't always translate on the field.
No, it will.
Okay. Yep, definitely. But our next thing, Randall Kolomuani, who has just been this ongoing topic, has officially told Eintracht Frankfurt that he wants to make the move to PSG. He's currently staying in Paris with his family in hopes of signing in the next couple of days, and that Frankfurt are still demanding 90 million euros plus bonuses.
I mean, he's definitely worth it. We got to see him play striker, not defense, but
Nope.
striker in the World Cup, and yeah, Kolomuani is a fantastic player. And as much as I hate to see really good young players go to PSG, with him being a young French kid, it probably is his dream. So I'm all for it, and he deserves to be on a much bigger team, and he would be there with Gonzalo Ramos, which is just kind of unfair.
Yeah, both of them playing striker.
Yeah.
Ugh, man. But
Neymar. No, never mind.
Nope,
Not
he's
Neymar
gone
anymore.
He's on the dark side.
Mbappe though.
Yeah, for maybe a year.
Yep.
If it doesn't happen in January.
Exactly.
But next thing, Yao Felix believes that he will be a Barcelona player by this weekend.
That's exciting. I think he'll fit in well there.
Agreed. I'd be excited to see that. But Yao Cancelo might be a different story because as it stands, Barcelona can't sign him because of their financial issues, nor can they register their squad at the moment. They have to improve their finances to meet La Liga's salary rules, but looks like people within the club say that the Cancelo deal will be done.
Oh, okay. We've had this problem with Barcelona. It's
a million times.
Like, you lose Messi, and somehow losing Messi wouldn't register like, oh, maybe this shouldn't be a problem in the future, like at all, because we just lost Messi. Well, it just continues to be a problem. It's just so frustrating.
They had financial fair play issues when they signed Arda Turan.
Yeah.
Like, they just don't know how to manage their money over there.
No, they do not.
But nonetheless, it would be a great move. Yao Cancelo would fit so well.
And it's so weird to me because if you look at Barcelona's owners and then compare them to Real Madrid's owners, like Florentino Perez is like in the mob. He's a fucking snake. But he doesn't have money problems with, registering his players at Real Madrid. Never has.
Nope.
So I'm not too sure why Barcelona, who I think it's fair to say that out of Spain compared to Real Madrid are kind of like the good side, like they do things right normally. They can't get their fucking money up. Get your
Yeah,
bag, Barcelona.
exactly. Get your fucking bag up,
Yes.
idiot. Fucking
Oh
goober.
man. Yeah. Silly
Uh,
Willy.
well,
Oh
our
man.
next move, it's interesting. Eric Dyer has been offered to Bayern Munich as he's looking to exit Tottenham. And apparently, Bayern has been looking for a player that can play both center back and defensive midfield, so he'd be a great option.
Eric Dyer, I can't think of other players that fit that center back, center mid role more perfectly than him.
Yeah, it's like him and John Stones.
Yeah.
David Luiz of years past.
R.I.P. David Luiz.
What happened to him?
I don't know. He would score bangers at Chelsea, leave. All the fans would hate him. He'd come back. He would become the fan favorite again, leave, and then he just fell off the face of the earth. I don't know.
I'm looking it up right now. I want to know where the fuck he's playing. He is playing
He
for Flamengo right now in
yeah,
Brazil.
yeah. Okay, I knew that he was in Brazil. I just didn't know where.
I didn't realize he was 36. I thought he was a little bit younger.
He's been around for a minute now.
Yeah. I don't know. I always assumed, like, I always just thought of him as like this really young player.
Yeah.
Mainly because he's like a year younger than Thiago Silva, and I was like, oh well, that makes him young.
Yeah.
But
Oh,
our
man.
next move, Michy Batshuayi, making his return to the Premier League. He's on the verge of joining Nottingham Forest from Fenerbahce.
Yeah, Nottingham Forest could definitely use him. So I actually like that move. And of course, I have a connection with Batshuayi as he did win the Premier League for Chelsea one season. He scored a goal against West Brom, and I'll never forget that. So he was one of the many strikers that just really couldn't get an opportunity and never worked out at Chelsea. So I'm glad to see him back in the Prem. I always liked him.
Nice. And looks like Steven Gerrard's El Atifak is in talks with Georgino Wijnaldum over a potential move, and PSG wants him to leave, so it's up to him.
Just abuse your Liverpool legacy and just go find all the players that have retired and left the team.
Yeah. At this point, their next signing is going to be fucking Roy Keane, or not Roy Keane. Jesus Christ.
Roy Keane, damn.
I don't know what.
He's a pundit.
I know. I was thinking of a legendary Liverpool player, and now I can't. All right, well.
Jamie Carragher.
Yeah, sure.
Mohamed Salah.
I would love Mohamed Salah to go to El Atifak. Anywhere. Anywhere but fucking England.
Yeah, me too.
Come to the MLS, bro.
Yeah, dude.
Come play for Atlanta United. We need some help.
That'd be sick. That would be sick. And Atlanta United does have a history with Middle Eastern wingers as well. With oh my God, what was that guy's name? He was so sick. Justin Miram. He was Iranian. Played in the World Cup. He's phenomenal at Atlanta United. Yeah.
That was obviously in the time that I was not paying attention because I do not know that name.
Yeah.
But like we were talking about this earlier, Mark Cucurella, it appeared he had reached an agreement in principle on personal terms with Man U. I don't know if it's happening.
I'm going to look it up right now because it may have been another deal that fell through.
Okay.
Man United suffered double Mark Cucurella blow as Eric Ten Hag faces abandoning, and I can't read the rest.
Nice.
Gotta sign up for a subscription to get my sports news.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Well, I'm still seeing that they're agreed. So, no, talks ended 1 hour ago.
Well, looks like you guys still have that curly-headed fuck.
Yep, unfortunately.
But Manchester United are also targeting a different fullback in Nicholas Tagliafico, looking at a loan deal for him.
Oh, I love him. He is so sick at Ajax.
Yeah,
that's like your.
Where is he at now,
perfect...
though? I thought he was in Italy now.
Oh, did he move?
Yeah, I thought he moved last year.
Let me just butcher Tagliafico in my search bar real fast.
He plays for. Oh no, he plays at Lyon.
Oh, okay. So I didn't ever know that he left. Well, anyway, I've always liked him. I've signed him on FIFA a couple times. He's pretty solid.
Yeah, I do like him as well. He was very good at Ajax, so you're right. Looks like Mateus Nunes is expected to travel to Manchester soon to undergo his city medical. That's a pretty good move for them.
Yeah. Just another. Oh, did I just cut out right there?
No, you're good.
Okay, because my Siri came up on my thing. That was very strange. But yeah, another good move from Manchester City. I hate seeing them succeed.
Well, looks like they're trying to get a young guy as well. Manchester City, it looks like they're trying to sign Jamal Baptiste on a free transfer. The 19-year-old left West Ham in the summer and never got picked up. So it looks like Manchester City is just swooping in.
So he's a free agent?
Yeah,
Awesome. Yeah, why not pick him up?
exactly. A good 19-year-old. Yeah, I don't see why you wouldn't pick him up and just throw him on the practice squad.
Yeah.
But the next move, Liverpool have sent a formal contract offer for I don't know how to fuck to say his first name, Decore, in an attempt to find an agreement with him before making an actual bid to Crystal Palace.
When did Liverpool turn on the faucet?
I think they saw everybody being like, "Where the fuck is your defensive midfielders?" And they were like, "Oh shit," and just started offering everyone.
Must have listened to the Second and Short podcast.
It had to have been.
Must have.
Had to. But the other moves here, Alexis Salemakers is leaving AC Milan and joining Bologna on a 1-year loan deal with an option to buy.
Yeah, I kind of had thought that Salamakers had made his name as, AC Milan's right winger, but, I guess they're going to look at other options, which, they did bring in Pulisic this season and they have Rafael Leao. So I don't necessarily hate this move, although Salamakers was good last year.
Yeah, he was pretty good, but with the amount of moves they made this summer, I'm not too surprised they're sending him off.
Yeah, good point.
But this one's an interesting one. Clement Lenglet, I believe is how you say it, will join Aston Villa on a loan deal from Barcelona with no option to buy, which is interesting, but it has been agreed upon.
That's a solid move for Aston
Yeah.
Villa. We were just talking about how, good we already thought their center backs were. This is just, another guy with ample, good experience on very good teams.
Yeah, like they really have like 5 good like center backs when they add Langley.
Yeah, I agree.
So that'll be a good move. This one interesting though. Chelsea could offer a bid for Brentford striker Ivan Toney before the transfer window shuts tomorrow, even though he's banned from playing until January 16th.
So this is news to me, and I just thought of a hot take. I honestly think if Nico Jackson is struggling, Ivan Toney could be a very, very good option at striker for Chelsea. I could see him starting.
Yeah, you'll just have to wait till halfway through
Yep.
the season.
Yep.
Which is probably fine, honestly.
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
But pretty sad news here, honestly. I know you're gonna hate this, but Eden Hazard does not have the energy or motivation to continue his playing career. He has had offers from the MLS, Saudi Arabia, England, Spain, France, and even Scotland, but refused all of them. And it appears that Inter Miami made one of his best offers, but he rejected that one as well.
This just kind of goes to show how probably beat down mentally he even is as well, because these are very, very enticing offers. Like, you have the MLS here. You've seen what Messi has done. Eden Hazard is he's a beloved player of the world, especially, I feel like everybody feels so bad for him about how, his career went at Real Madrid. So him coming to the MLS would be such just a beautiful whole sports movement. It would just be so wholesome to see him play again. I feel like in the MLS, Saudi Arabia, he would get paid. England, he would be back in the competition. Same with Spain and France. And even Scotland, if he went to Celtic's a massive team. So are the Rangers. And even Inter Miami, man, he could have gone and played with Messi, and he just doesn't want to. And I hate to hear about it, man. Easily my favorite soccer player of all time. He beat out Frank Lampard.
Yeah,
with his time at Chelsea for me. So
yeah, I love Eden Hazard. So I'm sure he's just gonna retire to a little farmland in Belgium.
Yeah, and live on a massive fucking farm mansion.
Yeah, and just he'll probably he seems like the kind of guy that is just gonna kind of step away. He'll probably work with a local team.
Yeah. Yep. And he'll come back
Yep.
maybe as like a pundit, or he'll do a speech and he'll be like all scruffy
Yep.
and stuff. He'll have that's exactly his arc, his character arc.
Exactly. He's gonna look like he just walked out of a cave the next time we see him.
Yeah, which he might live in a cave.
He might.
Who knows?
He seems like a very secluded person.
Yeah, he does. As flashy as he was, he really doesn't seem to care much about attention.
Yeah, which
So,
is probably why he felt that if he doesn't want to play anymore, or like, he's kind of getting tired of playing, just stop.
yeah, he's already made money,
Yeah.
so it's just, it's tough to see because, like, I would honestly go as far as to say that you may not think that Eden Hazard, at his time in Chelsea was even like a top 3 player in the world. No player had an effect on a game like Eden Hazard did, except for Messi, in my opinion. Just that dribbling, passing, and scoring aspect completely taking over an offense in a game. Eden Hazard was brilliant, man. Absolutely brilliant.
I'm gonna go through Twitter, make sure we didn't miss anything. This came out 7 minutes ago. Juan Bernat will leave PSG. Not surprised.
Wow. I have one. Sergio Reguilon completed a Manchester United medical, so he's leaving Manchester United. Or no, he's leaving Tottenham to go to Manchester United. So decent, Spanish left back. I've always liked him. So.
Yeah. Irving Chucky Lozano will have his PSV medical tomorrow, returning
Interesting
to PSV. Yannick Carrasco heading to Al Shabab in Saudi Arabia. That's a done deal.
Al Shabab.
Yep.
Unbelievable.
Okay, Liverpool is still saying that they will not sell Mo Salah.
Yeah, we'll see.
Holy shit. The initial package from one of the Saudi Arabian teams was 150 million, and it could be improved to 200 million euros just to test Liverpool.
And a helicopter.
Yeah. Just gonna drop off a fucking small country.
Yeah.
They're gonna give the Liverpool owners fucking Qatar.
Yeah. Oh my god. Anfield gets to host the next World Cup.
Yeah, just the city of Merseyside. But Manchester United's move for Sofiane Amrabat is back on track, which forgot about that, honestly.
Yep.
Let's see. Yeah, Reguilon's move is just about done. Let's see. Luton Town have signed Tayden Menji from Manchester United.
Hey, Luton Town.
Nice. PSG have signed Bradley Barcola from Lyon on a 5-year deal.
Okay.
Any other big ones? Not much. Still looking. Interesting. Ryan Gravenberch's flight to England tonight has been canceled, but looks like the transfer is not in danger. He will fly out first thing tomorrow morning.
I have a story time.
Yeah, go ahead.
I hope you haven't heard this story. So, Lewandowski started his career at Lech Poznan in Poland.
Yes.
It's like the second best team in Poland, to Legia Warsaw. Lewandowski was supposed to move to Blackburn Rovers. Have you heard this story before?
Mm-hmm.
You have?
Yeah.
Okay, well, I'll just finish it for the viewers. But anyway, Lewandowski was supposed to leave to go to Blackburn Rovers, which would have been kind of sick because Blackburn are kind of one of those historical Prem teams. A volcano eruption delayed that flight, which prompted him to sign for Borussia Dortmund. I still can't believe that.
Yeah, it's absurd.
Like, what a difference in quality of the teams at the time, Blackburn and Dortmund.
Yeah.
That's just unbelievable to me.
Definitely. Other ones I've seen, Dortmund have signed Nicholas Füllkrug from Werder Bremen. That's actually a really good move. Good striker. Let's see. Mbappe is confirmed to stay at PSG this season. Oh, that's not a bad move. Lazio have completed the signing of Matteo Guendouzi.
Oh, wow.
That's not bad at all.
I don't mind that one.
I could have sworn I saw a different one pop up, and I just have not seen it yet. A lot has been posted. Dean Henderson has officially moved to Crystal Palace. Yeah, it's really about it.
Gotcha.
Philippe Coutinho will sign for Al Duhail in Qatar.
Oh wow. Huh.
Oh,
He fucked it up.
that's the other one. I think Julian Draxler is heading to Qatar. Yeah, here it is.
Wow,
Yeah,
Draxler.
going
That's
to
a name I haven't
Al
heard of in a while.
Arabi. I forgot he was still at PSG.
Is he really?
Yeah, not
Wow.
anymore, but
Yeah.
apparently he rejected a move to Crystal Palace.
Interesting.
That's kind of weird. But yeah, that's
Collected the bag.
looks like that's just about it.
Look at your bag, Julian.
Yeah. Do it, man. So it's time. The first iteration of questions time.
It's gonna be sick.
We will not be questioning the prime minister. It's not what's happening right now. We'll be questioning each other. Just
What is a prime
couple of
minister for a Western country?
It's a good point. Yeah. Well,
I guess there's prime
Justin
ministers to the
Trudeau
north.
is the prime
Yeah.
minister of Canada.
That's true.
He also did blackface. All
Oh,
right,
yeah.
first question. I'm gonna start with this one, and then I want you to ask, what was yours? What league does it consider? I can't remember what you'd said.
MLB.
Okay, perfect. So you can do yours after this first one. Even if your team had no chance at getting Shohei Ohtani this offseason, would you hate him if he signed for your rival?
If Ohtani was in a Boston Red Sox uniform, I'm throwing at him.
Okay. Yeah, for me and also for you, I guess. If he was in a Mets jersey, I don't know what I'd do.
I mean, it would. I would still. No, I wouldn't. I wouldn't.
No, like there's no way to hate Shohei Ohtani.
There isn't, but fuck.
But then again, it's
man.
because his whole career he's been on a team that's just a non-factor.
Okay, imagine this. Imagine Shohei hugging Pete Alonso.
Well, Pete Alonso's getting traded. Actually, I wanted
Really?
to talk about that. I forgot about this. So I think the Mets informed him that he is going to be traded this offseason, or likely will be. And he said that he is not going to catch any fly balls. And
What a
he
fucking
held up his end because of a pop-up was hit towards like the foul line right by first base. And Pete Alonso went and covered first base while Jeff McNeil caught the fly ball.
wow.
This guy hates baseball.
Yeah, that's just a bitch move, man.
Yeah, fuck Pete Alonso.
Like, what have the Mets
I hope
done?
they trade him to fucking Korea.
He plays in a different country.
Yeah, go play in the KBO at fucking 5 a.m. U.S. time.
Damn, what a bitch.
Yeah, dude, fuck Pete Alonso. But yeah, I there's no way to hate Shohei Ohtani. But then again, if he's on the Dodgers next year and they have Freddie Freeman, Mookie Betts, Shohei Ohtani, fucking Will Smith, Max Muncy, like, how could you like that team?
Dude, it's like the Padres, but they'll actually like be above 500.
The thing is like there's some guys on the Padres that it makes sense to not like. Like Manny Machado was a villain for years.
Oh yeah.
And like there's reasons to not like some of their players. The Dodgers, if they get Shohei Ohtani, have like the 3 most likable players in the MLB.
And they're gonna shit on everybody.
Yeah, and it's gonna piss me the fuck off. Dude, I think if they get Shohei, like, and he's pitching, Clayton Kershaw's got to stay 1 more year just to be in the rotation with Shohei Ohtani.
Oh, 100%. 100%. Clayton Kershaw is looking like he could play 4 more years.
Yeah, dude, he's killing it.
Oh, shit.
All right, you go ahead and ask your question.
So it was announced, I think, I don't remember when it's coming, but I'm pretty sure it's next year. But the Yankees are going to get a City Connect jersey.
Really?
What do you think it'll look like, or what should it look like?
I think it's going to look like every other fucking jersey that they already have.
What do you mean? I don't know.
You
I
guys
bet the
won't
Yankees-
switch it up. I know. It's just like what the Dodgers did. They didn't really change anything. It's just like what the Celtics do in the NBA. They don't really change anything. They just make it maybe look a little older. That's all that the Yankees are going to do.
I don't know, but what I'm hoping for, I would love to see a like September 11th themed City Connect jersey, and then I guess it would honor the city like Manhattan. So like one
Yeah,
of the boroughs.
it
So
doesn't seem like it doesn't seem like they've taken that route though. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like a lot of it is like, yes, it's an homage to the city, but also like they try to do like a fun theme. And there's fun themes to go on in New York.
yeah,
So I don't know. I definitely think that the what is that? Monument Park? Is that what that's called? I can't
yeah.
remember. Okay.
In Center
I think
Field.
that will be a factor. I certainly think that.
Yeah. What about apples?
Could be. Put him in a fucking red jersey. See how people freak the fuck out.
Oh my god, dude, Yankees fans. What the fuck?
Are you fucking kidding me?
You made the Yankees red? Motherfucker.
You think we're the fucking Red Sox?
Oh man, we have so many clips from this podcast. This has been so much fun.
It has been a
Wow.
great one, and it continues. We got plenty more questions, so let's go with this one. I love this question because I've often pondered this one. If you caught a player's first MLB home run, what are you asking for in return?
Nothing.
You're just keeping it, or you're
No,
giving
no,
it?
no. I'm giving it, dude. There have been so many wasn't oh my god, earlier this year somebody singled and the first baseman threw his
Yeah,
ball into the stands without like
it
obviously
was
he
Pete
didn't know.
Alonso 2 weeks ago.
Oh, imagine that.
Yeah,
Imagine that. But no, I'm 100% giving back. Like all I would want to do is maybe like meet the player. Like that'd
yeah,
be it. Like maybe, get invited to the stadium, but even then, like actually never mind. I'm stumbling and bumbling right now because this is a good question. I would like to be the one to give it to the player.
yeah.
That is what I would ask for.
All I wanna give it to the player. I want a picture and I want a signed bat.
Yeah, the signed baseball, signed bat.
Yeah,
That'd be my asking. Yeah.
that's what I'm looking for. All right, next one. This one's gonna be fun. What active NFL player do you hate the most?
Oh man. um. No, it used to be Jalen Ramsey because of that whole era with like the when he was on the Jacksonville Jaguars and he was talking shit about Big Ben and AB and that whole era. Like obviously I had to hate him, but now I kind of respect his trash talk and I think he's matured a lot. I don't know who's yours. Don't say Dak Prescott.
No, it's not.
Okay, who's yours?
It's probably Cam Jordan, just because he shits on us every year. So I
Cam
really
Jordan.
hate Cam Jordan.
That's a good one. This is a really good question because there's a lot. Oh, Myles Garrett, easy.
Yeah,
I will never forget. I think I got home from a high school trip. I think we had gone to Athens for like FBLA or something like that. Yes, I was an FBLA kid.
I don't even know what that is.
Future Business Leaders of America, and now look at me at UGA as a journalism major. That it meant fuck all to me, but I got to go to cool places. But anyway, I got home from Athens. It was Thursday night football, and the Steelers played the Browns. And dude, as soon as I saw that helmet swing, easily my number one most hated player, besides like Vontaze Burfict, but he's not even in the league anymore.
Yeah.
So
That's
yeah,
why I
Myles
went
Garrett.
active, because I knew yours would be Vontaze Burfict.
Yeah. But yeah, Myles Garrett for sure.
Another one that I hate Jimmy Garoppolo.
Really?
Yeah, he's too good looking to play football.
Oh, you know what? Russell Wilson.
Oh yeah. I hate the person Russell Wilson.
Yeah. I hate the person Russell Wilson. What about Coach?
Coach? Oh.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't hate a lot of coaches. I like a majority of coaches. I hate Sean Payton, but kind of the same reason I hate Cam Jordan. Just because it's the Saints.
I don't like Arthur Smith a lot, but
Why?
I don't hate him.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just think he doesn't really do anything for that team. He's obviously kind of turned him around, and I think he's given the Falcons a blueprint, but I think they could have better.
Yeah. For a while, I hated Kyle Shanahan because he was the offensive coordinator when we blew the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
But that was just like, you had to hate him because there was nobody else to blame.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think I hate any other coaches. I do hate how cool Mike McDaniel seems. He seems like a fun guy.
Yeah.
He seems like a guy that I'd be friends with.
Yeah, one of the kind of more like awkward quirky kind of coaches in the league.
Yeah. Yeah, I can't think of anybody else I hate in the NFL. Okay, I
Yeah.
think that was a productive conversation. Really, I think we got some stuff
Yeah,
off our chests.
we did. Yeah.
All right,
Got some demons there.
our final question: what Premier League team are you quietly rooting for this season?
Oh man, for me, quietly rooting for. Hmm. Ah, damn.
Because I think both of us are mutually rooting for each other's teams.
You know, I would say quietly rooting for Newcastle,
Yeah.
openly rooting for Luton Town.
Okay.
Yeah. But I mean, I guess I am technically openly, rooting for Newcastle as well because, I talk about them all the time, how much I like them on the podcast. So
Yeah.
maybe Manchester United, and I know that's a hot topic because, like, I feel like Chelsea fans should never say that any of like the top 6 teams, of the Premier League that are historically dominant, they should never be ones that you're rooting for. But Manchester United, I feel like they just have really, it just comes down to I love Marcus Rashford.
Yeah.
That's really it.
I think, oh, man, it's hard to say this, but I quietly root for Manchester City because I love
Oh,
Pep
boy.
Guardiola.
Yeah.
I really like Pep.
Yeah, I mean he's undeniable, but I
Yeah,
don't
like
him at
he's
all.
one of the greatest minds in managerial, like on the managerial side that we've seen ever.
Yeah, my biased opinion, Pep would be like my top. He would be my third best manager of all time.
We'll lay out the list.
Mourinho, Ancelotti, Pep.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Mourinho has done most of the things that Pep has done, but with worse teams.
Yeah.
But yeah, Pep won a treble with this, that crazy Barcelona team and this insane Manchester City team last season. Mourinho did it with Porto. He did it with Inter. In back-to-back seasons, I think. That may not be true, but Mourinho,
winning a
I think
treble with Porto is crazy.
Mourinho is more of a team builder. Pep makes teams that are already good even better. That's the distinguish that I would make.
Yeah, because Pep stepped in after Pellegrini, right?
Yes.
And
Yes,
Pellegrini certainly wasn't a bad manager.
No, I mean Pellegrini kind of was. I feel like he laid the grounds of what Manchester City was going to become.
Yeah, and then Pep kind of figured out a play style that worked really well and worked some different players into that lineup that just succeeded under him.
Yeah, and brought in players that are not only just good players, but players that are perfect for him. Like that one defense of Manchester City video that you sent me of Guardiola. That was a very interesting video, and I completely, agreed with what that guy was saying. Is that Pep brings in the perfect players. He doesn't just bring in good players; he brings in the perfect players.
Yeah, because like it'd be so easy for him to just be like, "Well, João Cancelo's a great left back. Let's just keep him."
Exactly.
But instead, he's going to be rotating Josko Vardiol and Nathan Ake at left back and kind of left center back because they have fantastic defensive skill at center back. They also have fantastic skill at left back. And they both do things. They play that position that he likes correctly, and they play it in a different way that works really well in both ends.
Yeah, couldn't agree more.
So yeah, I quietly root for Pep Guardiola just because I like watching his teams play because it's almost unlike anybody else.
Yeah.
So, all right. Well, I think that was a fun segment. We'll definitely keep doing that one.
Yeah, that was a good one.
I think what we should do though is like each of us bring 3 questions to the table instead of like having the predetermined list. I think that would work pretty well.
I like that. And we also, I feel like we should leave the questions off the prep sheet.
Yeah.
Just so it's off the fly.
Yeah.
So.
Agreed. Yeah. So I think that's going to do it. And I'm super excited. The NFL officially starts next week. So what time are we recording that? Are we recording that one regular or are we going to have to record that one late?
Which one is it?
Next Thursday.
Week? No, we should be able to do it fine.
Okay, I wasn't sure if you were working, so yeah, we'll and I guess we'll be talking about the game kind of before it happens, Thursday Night Football. But nonetheless, So excited for NFL to start. We got the great double feature coming next week. College football starts like it started last week technically, but we have some real week 1 games tonight. Utah, Florida, and some fantastic games throughout the weekend. I'm sure my mood will be entirely, my mood next Wednesday on the episode will be entirely dependent on how Florida State does against LSU. I can certainly guarantee that. But nonetheless, we're super excited for the rest of this fall, and we're super excited that you guys are along for the ride with us. So make sure you guys are following on all of our social media platforms and following on all the podcast platforms. Make sure you're subscribing on YouTube, commenting, liking, all that good stuff. And yeah, just keep looking out for us. Keep listening to the pod. I addressed it on Wednesday's episode, but I'm pretty busy with school, so the clips aren't quite coming out at the moment. It's been quite a grind to the start of this semester. So, hopefully some things slow down, gives me a chance to ramp back up the content. But for now, we really appreciate you guys listening to the podcast and following along.
Have a great Labor Day weekend, everybody. Be safe, have fun, and yeah, do everything. Watch baseball.
We've got the fantasy draft on Sunday.
Oh man, that's right.
So
I got the first pick too.
You do. Who are you taking?
I don't know. I think there's an obvious choice that I want to go with, but I'm gonna have to think about it.
All right, interesting.
Yeah.
I've got number 3. Colin's got number 4. So, maybe we'll talk about our teams next week. Me and Colin will talk about ours on Wednesday, and you can come on and talk about yours on Friday.
Yeah, why don't we have like a fantasy football segment where we talk about our fantasy football teams?
I don't think people want to hear that.
Really?
You guys, look, we're still recording, so feel free to let us know if you want to hear that or not.
Yeah, please do, for my sake. I want to bring that. I want to be able to sympathize with the viewers about like if we all started this one guy and he doesn't play well, and we can all just bitch about it on the podcast. That's what I think. It'll be fun.
Yeah, I'm down. If the viewers show some love for fantasy football, I'm 100% down. But for now, we will see you guys next week. Thank you guys for listening. Love you guys. Peace.
Deuce.